All right, there we are. One of those days.
Good afternoon on this glorious, glorious Monday. How you doing, man?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Just everything's
We're starting. People listening to the audio version won't know this, but we're starting a little late today, and I'd like to apologize because I told everyone that your butt fell off in the toilet.
I guess yes. Technically, my again software and hardware, but fell off, and I had to recollect it and put it back together. So,
Is it back and bandaged around your midsection?
it is being held in place with duct tape, and I believe in duct tape, so it should be fine. What is wrong with the
What I
fucking
was
air
about to
conditioner?
ask, what are you fighting off camera, sir?
There's an air conditioner that's now just giving me an error for God knows what reason. Is it because the other one is on?
Hey, Wooly, pull your pants up, man.
Oh, God damn it. Did I just crack? All right.
You
it's
sure
fine.
did.
That's fine. You know what? I'm almost 40. I get to do that now. Leave me alone.
Oh no.
All right. It's one of those days.
Oh
okay?
boy, is it one of those days?
It's one of those fucking days.
And I thought having to change the baby 3 times before coming over here was rough.
It's fine. It's fine. You know what? Hey, you're welcome. All right?
I'm not thanking you.
Them. You're all welcome. Jesus, man. What's going on?
Well, okay. Let's see what's going on. Well, let's see. Did you finish the One Piece?
Not yet, unfortunately. I made designs to last night, but I did not. Did you?
I did.
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of thinking the timing would be this week, but it just didn't happen. It would have meant essentially, like, I was kind of like, I could just fucking stay up and go nuts, but no, I didn't, unfortunately.
It's fucking great. It's fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Like me and Paige watched it, and it had the exact. Hey, before I continue. We're talking about a TV show adapted from a manga that came out when we were in high school. So it's the events that I'm describing or are going to not describe are old as shit. How familiar are you with Nami's storyline in the One Piece?
I have remained exceptionally cold on everything One Piece related, with the exception of one time, one of my roommates, who was very excited about a lot of things, was like, I have to show you this, how good this is, and showed me a scene of what I assume was Buggy the Clown, because it was a clown, and it
was his cleanest flying around.
But he wasn't. He was bouncing off the walls, I think, instead of splitting into different body parts.
No, his name was Bellamy.
Okay. So he was showing me this moment of like, oh my God, it's so crazy. The guy's bouncing everywhere. What's Luffy going to do? And then Luffy just punches him. And
just
it's
punches
like,
him.
oh, holy shit. And it was
you know what, Wooly?
moments.
That would have probably hit a lot harder with 195 episodes of build-up.
Yeah, I imagine. But this was one of those clear-cut examples.
Because that moment kicks ass.
I know. I'm sure it does. And you know what? And I don't even fault the content there. It was a learning moment for me when I was like, this is why you don't be that guy, right? This is why you don't try to force it out of context and try to pretend that somehow the emotions that you've built up with something are going to translate cold onto someone else that has no idea what you're talking about.
Wooly, do you remember when I went over to your apartment? I think we were going to play fighting games or whatever. And I looked at your monitor and I said, what the fuck stupid banana shit thing are you looking at?
Right.
And what he was watching was episode 14 of fucking Gurren Lagann, and Catan was on the screen.
King Catan was on the screen.
And I'm like, what stupid banana shit are you watching?
But you asked the question, right?
Yeah.
Your curiosity was piqued by whatever the fuck was happening on the screen. Now, in this case, this was a like involuntary, no, you don't understand, you have to see it though. And I also told the story of when Min attempted to do this with Haruhi, And just a lot of these formative moments
I
learned,
remember that.
Yeah. A lot of these moments I learned, it doesn't even matter whether or not I would or would not have liked the material, but when you present it to someone in some way like this, you kill most of the chances of them ever actually getting into it, you know? I told you that, like, the friend I was in high school with at art class was like, bro, you gotta watch this Ava shit, it's crazy. Dude's robot is his mom, right? The opening salvo. And I still loved it, besides the fact that was the opening salvo I heard on Ava. Like,
I remember you told me that story really early, and I remember, like, that hurt my soul. Like as the resident weirdo Ava scholar of the gang, and I'm sitting there piecing together my future in psychology so I can understand its themes better. And you're like, yeah, some guy walks up to me and go, dude's in his mom's uterus. Oh, robots.
I mean, if you need to piece together, like, some of the moments that happened in my life that make me the way I am about, like, wanting media to be enjoyable.
That's a good start. Story. That's a good one.
If you want to know, like, for me, I'm like, okay, how do I enjoy media when I don't know anything about it? And when I want to recommend someone media, I want to be very careful with how I do that. I don't want to overblow it. It's because I've seen so many friends of mine fuck this up, trying to get me into something, not understanding that you're ruining it the way you're doing it.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of MMO and Monster Hunter players. They both do the same fucking thing. They go, oh man, you got to get into Monster Hunter, man. Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. Hey, okay, okay, you're starting out. Okay, do the tutorial. Okay, we'll do a hunt. Okay, don't worry about this monster. Okay, we'll just kill this monster 12 times, and we'll get you the gear so we can rank up your key quests so you can get to the next one, because you got to get to the cool stuff at the end, right? Because look at the big dragon at the end. And then they drag someone all the way to the cool part. And then the person's like, okay, yeah, it's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. Now, I have no idea, but I assumed that One Piece had a whole lot of pirate enemy of the week shonen problem solving that was a lot more elaborate than just a single punch to the face. Therefore, that single punch to the face was the unexpected straight punch, which creates a whole bunch of impact because of how simple the solution was compared to how they usually deal with elaborate bullshit. Right?
Congratulations, you completely nailed it, because that whole chapter is starting up going, oh man, is this guy gonna be a prop?
Yes.
No, he's actually gonna be he's a speed bump.
And then you use that as a means of gauging, oh shit, this is actually a statement on how powerful Luffy has become at this point in the story or whatever. Yeah, I can intuit that from this, but it's like the way you just bring this slice out cold and just go, nah, though. Experience what I did in the same way. It was just the worst way to do it.
We're watching their One Piece, and Paige is going nuts over it, and we get to Nami's story. So Nami's storyline goes last. She's the the last person to get a character profile. And hers is the least clear up front. Like, Luffy is like, I want to be a pirate, and Zoro's like, I want to be a sword.
She just shows up and joins the crew, and then has a moment or two, but it's all like, oh.
And we got the fucking the correct parabolic arc of Nami's storyline inside that thing of like, what the fuck is this? This is bullshit. And people who have read One Piece or watched the TV show I'm talking about will know that in episode 9 there's the big moment which hits the wife like, oh god, what? I didn't think One Piece was about this. And then now I'm looking at my Discord messages and I'm seeing I'm going to read One Piece. I think I'm going to watch the show again before then, though. And I'm like, oh, this household is now in. This household is now in on One Piece.
Was it the proverbial... well, anyway, whatever. It's a game changer moment.
Absolutely.
Okay. How far in terms of manga or anime would that have taken?
So anime, I don't know. I'd have to look up the anime
Okay.
one. Somebody in the chat, tell me when Arlong Park is in the anime. But volume 5. Some
Okay.
people are saying.
So yeah, you get there.
There's
within a
something I'm
reasonable
really
time frame.
disappointed about. So the show is fantastic, and the soundtrack is actually better than you would think. Like, you listen to it outside of the TV show, and it's stellar. And some of the bits in the TV show are more accurate than the anime, like a significant amount
to the manga.
Yeah, so like Sanji's backstory is more manga accurate than the anime was.
So
like
the
a lot
anime,
more.
The anime was not
The anime
frame for frame.
kind of like was like, oh, maybe we don't want to show that, and then the TV show is like, no, we're gonna show it.
Ah, interesting.
It's stellar. I can't recommend it enough. There's only one problem, and that is, and I was suspicious of this. I said when I originally looked at the episode list, it was 8 episodes. I'm like, it's really weird that they would stop at Arlong Park. That's really strange. If I was to do a first season, I would have done 10 episodes, and I would stop in Logtown. And then I look up into the production of the show and find out they were going to have 10 episodes, and they were going to stop the show in Logtown. And then Netflix in production was like, no, you're going to get 8 episodes. And we're aware that you shot half of the Logtown episodes. Like half of that shit is already on film. And Captain Smoker has been cast and has a bunch of lines and a bunch of scenes, but you need to kick that to the next season.
Goddamn.
And so that's why the ending is like weirdly abrupt, because it's not the ending.
Okay. When you consider how much like studios get involved with TV productions and things like that, it's kind of a miracle that any TV show ends up being good. Like the amount of cooks in the kitchen just fucking with everything on even the best shows that have come out. It's incredible. It's incredible that anything ends up ever being good.
So I don't know if this is part of the news, because the writers, they won their fight against the studios last week or the week before, it brought when I was reading in through the things that they won everything. They got every single fucking thing they wanted. So good for them. But the number one thing that they got that I didn't know existed was no longer can you make a new show that is actually just the next season of your existing show and redo all the royalties as if it was season 1 of a new show. And I was thinking about, like, oh, that's why Castlevania is not Castlevania season 5. It's Castlevania Nocturne, because then everybody gets reset back to season 1 bonuses. Because it's a brand new show, right?
If you retitle it, oh my god. Ugh. Oh, that's more than just a branding move.
Yeah, that's why you'll see shit. It's like The Bachelor, and then The Bachelor California, and then The Bachelor whatever. It's like, because that's a totally new show. That's a new show, man.
It's a spinoff. These are not sequels to the thing.
And I'm like, oh, gross.
Oof.
Oh, nasty. Hate it.
God damn. Yeah. Okay. That's why that happens. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, One Piece is stellar. We're gonna start reading One Piece in this house. It's going to become a One Piece house. And more than anything, I talked about it last week, and Paige agrees with me, is like, we're watching the TV show of the One Piece adaptation, and it cuts to a 16:9. You know, zoom in so hard that a character's forehead and chin are being cut off
by the frame
ratio, right? As it stares into like pretty good prosthetics that look dumb as fuck on a man going, "You will be no match for my fishman karate," and that was the fucking like lightning bolt. That was like, oh, for Paige, like, oh, I gotta watch this fucking stupid shit. I gotta read this. I gotta get in on this. Because like a story that's like gonna look you in the eye and be like, it's time for Fishman Karate.
I believe I said it before, and I believe that this show can hit huge with a group of people that have no idea what anime even is.
Yeah,
just because it's pirate drugs. Like I feel like it, like, you know, just present it as fucking LSD, Pirates of the Caribbean.
What does Jack Sparrow think he's watching during the Pirates of the Caribbean as he is drunk and high?
Straight up. I would like to know. I would like to see this experiment. Cool.
But yeah, One Piece good. Ends a little abruptly. It makes me sad because I wanted to see Captain Smoker / Chaser, which is funnier to me every day. But no, very good, very excellent.
Like there's like what is like every show that we like, if not like a history as well of like, oh, it ended shittily because the studio and or production company didn't get to do what they intended to do. Because, you know, like the budget or time restrictions cut in or whatever the fuck. There's always that, right? There's so many cases of that throughout the years. It's just like, okay, well, chalk it up to another one that...
Oh, sometimes it's good. You're like, man, Evangelion gets real cheap and fucked up near the end because somebody stole all the studio's money. But that gives us Shinji sitting in a chair disassociating and those two bitches getting mad at each other in an elevator. Art from adversity.
I feel like you should be able to put a little paragraph in the end credits just going, we wrote and filmed more, but they didn't let us, so hey. Right? Just in case we never ever get to come back into the offices and finish this off for real, just so you know we were going to do more, but like, that's not our fault.
we saw that happen once. That I can only think of one time where I saw that happen, and that was with Bleach. Where their adventures
our adventures will continue. Right.
That's so fucking funny to me. All right. So what else did I do? I did a sponsor stream for Lords of the Fallen Attribution 2023, not Lords of the Fallen from a couple years ago. Completely different games, identical title, save for the fact that the of and the are not capitalized in the new one. Not confusing at all. Extremely confusing. It's a Dark Souls game. It's good. I played a sponsored stream of it. If you want to check out my thoughts, go check out the VOD. It's good. I like it. It's loose is probably the most interesting thing about it. It's like all the other Souls games are super tight and super rigid in their movement. Like the default run speed in this game is super high. Super high. People are pointing out that it's a million. I can't keep track. Everything feels like a million years ago. I beat Liza P. Liza P is stellar. Liza P is super great. Liza P is one of the best of the Souls games. It is right up there
and strong.
Yeah, ends really strong. You know, at the like 90th percent mark where like the game starts to fall apart. We talked about this last week.
Sometimes
doesn't. Yeah. It just doesn't. And there's one detail that I forgot to mention about Liza P's system that I feel people should know about, which is like all these little things that they do to clean it up from like the Souls games. And one of which is when you're completely out of your Estus equivalent, you can earn another charge by parrying and hitting enemies.
Nice.
So if you're aggressive enough, you will earn another Estus back. And as long as you have 0, you can keep earning them back.
Okay. You can't go from 1 to 2, but you can
go from 0 to 1. And as soon as you hit that one, you drink it.
The tension
and you
moment.
Go, okay, time to earn another one.
Damn. Yeah.
It's
okay.
Great.
That's a really
great
high clench situation by design. That's pretty good.
And I guess last but not least, I finally beat Vampire Survivors. I went back. Me and Paige have been playing it on and off on her account, and I decided to go back, and I finally got all 190 achievements in Vampire Survivors. I've never had it. It's since 1.0. I never had it at like 100% achievements. That game those DLCs start turning into different games. Like
I get
levels and unlock conditions and bosses and
pathways. Like the fact that there were pathways in the DLC that you have to follow through. Go into this cave, exit the cave, then branch at the fork. Like,
find the secret path.
This is a stage you're traveling through while the enemies are still coming at you at the same pace they ever did. But yeah, you have to treat it like an actual like adventure game more than just fucking run circles around this bullshit map.
One day that game will add a vampire. There is still like even dialogue and like the enemy descriptions going, I really hope I meet a vampire one day.
No one that rises out of any of these coffins at any point
that's got to be the final update, right? Is just a vampire.
I did try multiplayer actually this weekend. Yeah, it is pretty smartly designed, I gotta say. Like,
it works really well.
Mm-hmm. You divide your power into like 2 or 3 or 4 depending on the number of players, and then cycling through your level ups is like, in theory, you should be able to handle what's coming at you
about as much as you could as a one person.
But definitely though, there are things that are like, okay, well, if all these spread out powers are all weaker levels than they would have been, then you're going to have a harder time at the, when you're approaching the half an hour mark, right? And similarly, if you have a character that's like, for example, like I think I was playing as like Domaggio, and Punchmon picked the fake death, right? And the fake death is just flying around the screen at like insane speeds, and like I'm the old man trudging along, and it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. You can dodge, but you can't travel because the slowest character is going to hold you back. You So in some ways, it's actually kind of harder, because your power spread is it's like the abilities are spread out, but they're weaker across the board. You don't get that same top off, and you also have to deal with the slowest of whoever your party is as your traveling speed. If you need to get away from the stronger enemies for a while before you want to take them on, or if you want to like, because what I'd usually do in single player is like build up a certain type of build to like handle the bosses or the guardians or whatever's coming after you. But in this case, you can't really do that if you're not traveling at a speed to get them off your back to begin with. But yeah, it's still
the best.
The DLC,
it's still just nonstop good chemicals.
Did you cleared the DLC as well, or just the base game?
Yeah, that's okay. I cleared and did both DLCs. I'm sure there's a character here or there that I haven't unlocked because they're a secret and aren't in the achievements. So I'll go check that out. But according to the Chivos, I have beaten Vampire Survivors for now. Always for now.
Yeah. Always love showing that game to someone too that's just like seeing this for the first time. It's like, what the fuck is this bullshit? What is this mid-ass garbage looking? Oh, okay, hold on a minute.
So like
it happens within 5 minutes. Like, it's like, like the first wave of like too many enemies flooding the screen happens, and there's just that moment of like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah, I was playing it, and then I got up and I was like, oh, I got to change the baby. So I take the baby over to the table and I change him and sing him a little song, blah blah blah, wipe his butt, and then I go back and I'm like, I need to point the baby away from the TV and turn this thing off because it's now at like 37 minutes and it's just been sitting there feeding itself for fucking 15 minutes, and it's just like a gigantic fucking seizure bomb going off in my living room.
Pupils are dilating. Yeah.
Like I need to point the baby away and turn this thing off.
But it is also just like uncut video game. You know what I mean? Like it is not stepped on in any way. It is the purest form of like, just move your stupid thing around the screen and other things are going to die. And
I was talking to people in the chat. in the lead up for today's podcast, and they were like, "You should play Hollow Cure," and I'm like, "I have to aim in Hollow Cure. No thanks.
Yeah,
I want to move my guy, and I want to pick the button."
Aiming is sometimes I'm in the mood for aiming, in which case I'll play 20 minutes till dawn. You know,
if I wanted to play aim, I'd play Enter the Gungeon.
Or Enter the Gungeon. Yeah, they feel very similar as well. Exactly. But no, Vamp Survivors is a particular base flavor, and also like, you know, it's not even like and the feel and the theme of like the other games as well. Like Hollow Cure is like, yeah, but I'm also into the VTuber idols, and so I kind of like, you know, you're
which I'm not
that and stuff. It like VServe is just when you go to the fucking code screen and it's playing spooky music. Ooh, you know, it's just
more of an emotional attachment to a fucking
so dumb
8-bit Italian vampire hunter that I've never seen before in my life than any VTuber.
You know, and like some of those secret characters, right? Like you're seeing, like, okay, there's the Castlevania, you know, protagonists, and then there's the like, and shitty old man, and then there's the old ghost, and then you get ghosts that show up in the secret characters that are like, that's just the emoji ghost. Like the it is a mystery, boo. Like it's just that with a fucking, you know, angel sigil around it. Like you just took an emoji and stamped it in the game and called it a character.
Yeah.
What are we doing? What is this fighter's Megamix ass design philosophy? It's great. It's great. Yeah.
But yeah, Vampire Survivors is the best. That's pretty much it. What? Yeah.
Oh, and no, and also just the watching as again, someone for the first time is enjoying the treasure box pops up, and it's like, oh, like you're getting into the jingle, and then like, oh, this one's a 3. Oh my god, it's a 5.
It's 5. It's a 5. Oh shit!
And it only happened once, and then every other one was like chasing that high, and it's like, oh, there you see, that's it. That's loot boxes in a nutshell. But
then you get deep enough. Then you get deep enough that you're running like it's minute 27 with fucking Queen Sugma balls or whatever her name is, and then you're maxed out and you can't see the screen, and the chests are turning into auto chickens, and then all of a sudden the animation pops back up, and you're like, "Well, what could it be? It's the candy box."
They get your take your pick.
Weapon.
Pick whatever the fuck. Yeah. Amazing. Da, 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 ding. To that note, I don't know, did you try the remixed music out?
I didn't even know there was any.
You can go to options and go to blast processing and turn it on.
Oh, right. Does it just grunge it the fuck up?
It's a remixed soundtrack, and the loot box music does not sound anywhere near as cool. I don't like it.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Oh.
But the hyper.
Well, that's been.
Anyway, whatever. No, just
that's been pretty much it for me this week. Big week for me this week. Coming up. I put up a fucking thing. I should look at it. I got Cyberpunk, Baldur's Gate, World of Horror is finally out. It's finally out 1. this week. Spider-Man 2, unless there's a SAG-AFTRA strike. And I will be feeding the baby early and then running over to the office at 2 a.m. on Saturday to do a stream of the FF14 live letter, which will probably include the new job information.
Yikes. That's the timing, huh?
Listen, man, I'm already up at 1:30, 2 o'clock to feed the baby, so I might as well just fucking stream it.
Okay.
Baby get hungry, man.
Can I ask if what your cyberpunk intentions are?
Do you mean with my cyberpunk body or like my cyberpunk coverage?
Yeah, just coverage. Is it just you're just traipsing through the flowers and seeing
so
where it
I
goes?
have had to cancel twice due to once for baby's vaccination day. And then the other was because I had a migraine so bad, I was like trying not to vomit all over the floor. So I'm going to keep throwing it on my week until I decide not to.
Okay.
If this was on the Woolly Versus channel, I would put the word "quick look" next to it.
There you go.
For no matter how long I'm gonna keep fucking with it.
Yeah, I've been dancing. I think I'm gonna go with the word short play from now on. Perhaps a lot of people see the word quick look and they go like, "Hey, quick look part 24."
Quick look that's 4.5 hours long for the sixth week in a row.
And I'm just like, what's the word? What word do you want to use? What word do you want to use for? I'm gonna play this until we stop and not until it's done. You know,
you want to use
like,
no strings
play,
attached game with benefits,
short, no commitment. You know, yeah, exactly. Like limited play. I went through a bunch of them, and I think I'm just gonna write short play, or so. Yeah. Because there's no way to convey.
I bet you that means something different.
It might. You know,
I'm gonna type that into my search engine right now.
Oh boy. Or are you going to get greeted?
You're good.
Okay.
You're good.
Yeah. I feel like there's the word play in general.
Yeah. It's just doomed.
Mm-hmm.
It's just doomed.
Speaking of doomed short play, you see that fucking screenshot? Janet has set a minimum height requirement of 6'2". Looks like you don't quite measure up. What do you want to do? Accept and move on, or override for $9.99?
What is the fucking... So first of all, yes, I did see that. That's hilarious. Second of all, what the fuck is the plan when you pay the $10?
Maybe I can confuse them with Jedi mind tricks.
Wooly, I am 5'2".
Maybe.
So I'm gonna pay Janet the $10 to bypass her no shorties thing, so I can message her, so she can go like, ew.
Yeah, so she's an asshole and you're an asshole, and let these assholes meet, and maybe you can do a fucking little peacock dance, you know, and distract away from your height. Maybe you can get some lifts, you know, and just and Vincent adult man it. And
you know, Wooly,
and she'll be like,
"Oh, actually, about this the other day." And I feel like you're in the same boat. Man, just dodged that whole online dating nightmare. Just completely fucking I never made a fucking dating profile. I never made a Tinder account.
I mean, I like I was like, when I showed that to PunchBob like yesterday, I was just like, could you imagine this environment? This type of fucking climate? It's insanity. It's God. I would
just give up is what I would do. I'd be like, I'm back to the hermit life for me. Be shamed by the application trying to get me money. Get my money every day. Oh my goodness.
And then the algorithm is also like, the more you, the less discerning you are, the more you just say yes to everything that pops up, the lower value you get. So you show up towards less people. Because it's effectively like, oh, you don't have any tastes whatsoever. You don't care. All right, well, you know.
Hey, listen, humble viewer / listener that possibly uses a dating app. If you have $10 in order to bypass some girl or guy's preferences on a dating app, what you need to do is not do that and respect yourself. And you take that $10 and you go down to Woolly Versus or Pat Stares At or Peach Saliva on twitch.tv and you send in a subscription, because at least someone will get something out of it.
There you go.
You'll get emotes.
There you go.
And a thank you.
Look at that. Right? Just pop a tier 2 over this way. And,
it's like genuinely more honest, which is super gross.
Hey, man.
Because at least we'll thank you.
Hey, maybe I can play fucking the Cupid, you know, for people, and I'll be your mix matcher. I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not bad at it.
You're not bad.
Yeah. No, it is
seriously though. How do you not see that screen and just fucking go?
Just die. I'm pretty sure it's a joke though. I'm pretty sure it's just a gag screenshot. Like I don't even know. I don't even care. I don't care. The dystopia doesn't have to be real to feel real. But there's a second thought to it, which is, again, it's like, if the app is like, fuck you for your stupid shitty height standards and fuck you for wanting to bypass that filter, you deserve each other, you pieces of shit. You know?
I think whenever, every now and then, every year or two, I think it might be every year, but like the dating profile apps and websites are like, hey, you want to see some fucking user data? Let's show you how fucking dire it is out there.
Yeah.
Oh man, you ever go through that fucking shit? And you go through like, okay, here's the fucking here's the amount of people messaging this amount of people, and here's the requirements and how much of the population that cuts out by default.
Depressive. It's insane.
It makes it look like 99% of all humans are undateable. And to be fair, they are. It's true.
Yeah.
But
like another fucking the thing that scrolled past was just basically breaking down. It's like, oh, if you're like the percentage of dudes that are like making over 100K between 6 and 6'5" or 6 foot above 6 foot that are of this age, like it's like you're talking like it's like a 1% margin or whatever.
Yeah, no, and then you break it down and like, okay, well, there's 55 men that fit this criteria in your state.
And they all think you're awful. So congratulations. Okay, but here's the bit though, all right? Is hey Janet, looks like some of these little scrunkos are getting through your filter. Do you want to upgrade your block wall?
Wooly, hold on. Me and Paige got into, like, if we didn't have the baby, it would have been a screaming match, but it was a yelling match over the fact that, like, I would not define Scrimbo Bimblo to her satisfaction.
Okay.
Because every time she asked me what it meant, I just said it means that they're a lovable Scrunko. And it just kept escalating and escalating for like an afternoon.
That is the definition of a scrimblow. That is what they are. They are a lovable Scrunko. It's true.
Because fucking we were on Twitter and fucking Yellow Couch put up the fucking Scrimbo Bimblo fucking Blorpo tier list of Baldur's Gate characters. And Paige is looking at Astarion as the Scrimblest Blimblo. And she's like, what does that mean? What does it mean?
Yeah. So are there any McJRPG guys in Baldur's? I don't know.
No.
I don't think so.
But that doesn't mean they can't be a Scrimbo Bimblo.
Yeah, Will comes close, but he's not, though. He's not. So that's it. And so, anyway. So, hey, Janet.
Well, hold on. Before then, and then I hit her with a fucking... I told her that she was gonna fucking de-riz her Phantom Tax. And she basically spontaneously combusted.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. That's it. Now, you have to, like, you're either getting this shit coming at you through your feed, or you'd be hearing it in the classroom in math class, right?
Hey, listen, we got about 5 years before this becomes real bad.
So do what you can to survive out there. It's a fucking knife fight. You know, keep your lexicons updated. But regardless, charging to reblock the little ones climbing through the filter is the next level of, like, again, tripling down on the paying customer. And if you're an asshole, then pay the asshole tax.
You know my favorite dating internet data point is. Do you remember there was a website called Ashley Madison that was like,
oh my God. Oh,
it was like, do you want to cheat on your wife?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Right?
That was a fucking hustle and a half.
And then they got super fuck hacked, and every single person's bullshit was out in the open. And the actual detail that mattered was that it was 99% men and 1% men catfishing other men for money. It was literally just a bunch of shitbag cheating married men scamming each other.
And the website that's facilitating that by just basically being like, pay us, for your bullshit. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, like the fact that it gets hacked and you're threatening to, it's like, of all the places you could hack that don't want their information out there, that's is the one. Bad. Yeah, that is how you nuke like a billion fucking relationships with shitbags anyway. But yeah, incredible. Oh
man, do you remember? I remember when a first friend of mine was like, "Hey, dude, I made a Plenty of Fish profile, and like I got a date with a girl," and I'm like, "Wow, that seems better than going down to the bar and just fucking shooting your shot." And now we're at the point where I'm watching people just in public, I'm gonna just scroll on my phone. I'm just gonna infinite fucking scroll, and maybe I'll get a swipe, and then I'll look at it and go,
"Look, I know people that figured it out on Plenty of Fish. I know people that figured it out on Tinder, you know." But when you see, I think there's that one video of like someone's filming someone from the back, and it's just this girl that's just like swipe, stops for 1 second on a dude with a yacht. Swipe. It is like, you have no chance. You have no hope. It's over. Dr. Doom, you have no hope. It's fucking done. Man. You never did.
Oh, the dystopia is so real. It's awesome. Now that we got our wives and they're minds. Cool. Now that we're out. Yeah. We're out.
Burn it all.
We don't have to go back in there. Look at the young people
laughing at the Titanic as you float away on a fucking closet.
Oh like, man!
You fucks!
You got a profile picture and 2 lines of text to riz it to the max. Let's
go! You narrowly floated out of that fucking boat, and now let's laugh as it sinks everyone down in it. Nicely done.
Oh, come on. Somebody in the chat says I'm sending this clip to both your wives. My wife is watching this right now. You don't think I can fucking... You think I'm coming on to my fucking podcast to get away with shit?
Anyway. Okay. So... I had a week, a couple things, but yeah, there you go. So, I had a couple things I checked out, but I would like to take a moment and actually just applaud one of the coolest memes I've seen that popped up in the subreddit.
Good memes.
Yeah,
let's see it.
It was a thread that I saw that I'm like, you know what? I applaud you. I am gonna bring this up as content. This is thread.
I love a good meme.
This is a thread that is a ranking of detectives who could and could not solve the Death Note case. What a fucking great
and
meme.
The axis is could solve the case, could figure out the way the Death Note works. Could not solve the case, could not figure out how the Death Note works.
Unbelievable power emanating from this. It is a giant list of detectives from all fiction, and in the top right of can intuit the mechanics of the Death Note and can solve the Kira case is fucking Columbo.
You got Columbo at the absolute most dedicated point.
Top corner. And the discussion that follows where it's like, not only would he be able to piece together like the circumstantial evidence and the vibe and everything and read it, but he'd also be able to piece together the psychological profile of Kira and like at one point be like, just one more thing. This list of he'd find a way to get the book and write Kira's name in it and then show it to him and have him freak out. And then question him on why he freaked out as he reveals that he actually just used a regular piece of paper to write his name down.
I think the best of that is that there's some dichotomies in that list.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite part of that list is that in the upper left of could solve it, could figure out the Death Note, is your friend and mine, the detective Harry Dubois.
Harry's in there.
And in the bottom right of could not solve it and could not figure out the Death Note is your friend of mine, Kim.
Yes.
It's like Kim's a great detective, but Kim could never understand the Death Note.
And Death Note it's the reason why I love this meme so much is because this chart is the perfect case to compare all of these detectives to, because Death Note is a very logical and like rational world that introduces some bullshit into its circumstances, right? Like the rules of heaven, hell, and the Death Note show up into an otherwise very sane setting. And like you have to have a touch of insanity or believing in the unknown, or like, you know, you have to have a little bit of just that inland empire, right? For to be able to like conceptualize a book that can write down people's names and kill them.
Yeah, and so for example, in the quadrant of could figure out the Death Note but not solve the case, you have FBI Special Agent Dale Cooper from Twin Peaks, and you're like, oh yeah, absolutely, he could absolutely figure out the mystical fucking mechanics, but he wouldn't solve it. No.
Ghost Trick dude's in there.
Sissel.
And I don't know.
Oh, Sissel has it easy. Sissel's dead.
You're already in the realm, right? Yeah. Is True Detective McConaughey in there?
I don't think he is.
Because McConaughey absolutely would, whereas fucking Woody would absolutely not, because that's Harry and Kim again. Right?
And then one of my other favorites is you got fucking Phoenix Wright on could solve the case, would never figure out the Death Note, would somehow solve it.
Yeah.
And catch him without figuring out the Death Note at all. Just bumbled right the fuck into it.
Mm-hmm. Dojima definitely could not solve it, could not intuit it, whereas
it's great.
Culprit absolutely, right, could intuit but could not solve the case. And same thing for Naoto, right? You get Courage in there as like Courage would figure it out and panic and fucking, you know, probably and try to explain it to the old man or type it into the computer. You know, Courage could figure out what's going on but couldn't solve the Kira case. Like, it's great, man. Yeah, no, this thing is fucking great. And then a big point of contention here, and you'd need to fill me in on this, but Francis York Morgan of Deadly Premonition is listed as could not do it, could not solve the case, could not figure out what was going on. And
I need to look at this case, this a lot more closely, because what's really important. Oh, I just saw that Nardwar is on the fucking solve the Kira case and get into it. And there's fucking is that the Men in Black? Yes. And Seven Max, of course.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Seven Max, the Seven Max one. It's like so sad. Like they would like Seven Max, like they would get their names written and like Max would die and then just walk in off camera and be like, oh, hey, had to fight my way out of hell again. Damn. Okay, well, I guess now we know how that worked. Like, they'd cartoon their way into surviving Akira's bullshit, you know?
So I would say that, I see Francis York Morgan would not be able to get shit done. Where is he on there?
But perhaps Zach could.
Francis Zach Morgan, I think, absolutely could.
Yeah. And then what's cool too, that so there's a couple of Danganronpa characters in there that are pretty accurate as well, in terms of just like they're able to piece together. They'd probably be able to piece together the mystical aspects of what's going on, but could they lock down who it was and who was doing it? Yeah. Maybe not, you know. Fucking awesome, man. And then it's got everybody. Veronica Mars is on this fucking list.
Hey man, it's great. It's great. I love that Scooby-Doo is like right in there. Of like, oh yeah, they got this. They do that shit all the time. It's not a problem.
Blue's Clues.
That's you know what that is? I've been laughing about that for a day. I forgot about it when I sat down.
No, powerful, very, very
excellent good. Meme, Wooly. Thank you for bringing this meme to our attention.
Poor Max Gumshoe never had a chance.
I have to say, maybe it's because I have a child now, or that I'm turning into a suburban mother. I have had my life taken over by a meme as well, but it is a horrible TikTok meme. Do you use the TikTok platform, Wooly?
I do not use the TikTok platform.
So the reason why I use the TikTok is very simple. I need memes and I need them fast. I need them faster.
Mm-hmm.
Like I need it faster, as fast as a meme can hit me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've discovered my favorite. It's some lady pounding out a piece of garlic, going, "Man, you know it's crazy, but I've never liked store-bought pesto." And then the person making the video cuts her off to tell the craziest story you've ever heard in your whole damn life. Most of which are crimes. Most of which are stories about, hey, this is the time I committed many crimes against someone. And usually they're deserved. Usually they're like, wow, you really got him for cheating on you, girl. Wow, damn. But it is just non-stop crimes. So Paige and I'll be lying in bed and she's falling asleep and I'll be flipping through my TikToks and then she'll hear me gasp and she'll go, "Is it the pesto lady again?" I'm like, "It is! You want to watch the pesto story? The crimes?" Oh, I get so excited.
Yeah. No, it is working because when you bring concepts like girl dinner to the pod,
I'm getting a girl dinner t-shirt.
Hot in the middle of their moment, right? In the middle of the zeitgeist, then yeah, that's the only way you could have gotten it at that speed.
I really need to say it again. I really, 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 really need to say it again. It's very important if we're going to talk about girl dinner. I don't want, hey, look, it's a charcuterie board girl dinner. I don't want, hey, it's 3 oranges, a banana, and some oatmeal girl dinner. No, I want mentally ill girl dinner. I want like a glass of water, a piece of bread, and a fucking tub of ice cream. Right? I am
Can't be grapes and cheese.
Totally lost control of my life dinner.
Yep. A single Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Without the wrapper on the bottom either.
I want uncooked pasta and a fucking Four Loko. You know, just brain out, gone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then the introduction. I guess I suppose I've heard the evolution into boy math and girl math.
Oh, there's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a whole thing.
Okay.
If you ever need me to explain the new memes to you, Wooly, I have some knowledge.
Well, so that's the funny part is that like Punch Mom is in there as well and has some knowledge, but you know what we're getting, what I'm getting updated on is the fucking white girl memes culture speed. So,
yeah.
You know, that's
white girls can have good memes too, Wooly.
That's fine. I didn't say they couldn't. That's okay. You know, and then every once in a while, I'll explain what's happening on Black Twitter or so.
I mean,
and we'll
considering
we'll
we started today's show with you sticking out your gat for the Rizzler.
There you go. My gat.
I don't think we can all judge.
It was in fact out. And I did get asked how often I think about the Roman Empire, which took a second.
That one. I don't like it.
I don't like it. And I was like, I know exactly what this is. Like without knowing anything about what was happening or where it was coming from, I'm like, no, that is specifically a bunch of that is hearkening back to whatever like ancient times that like, oh, I want to return to tradition shit. And that is also again like white girl TikTok questioning to probably white boy ass fucking question thought process in a lot of that case. I don't think there's a whole lot of black people that are like, yeah, I think about the Roman Empire actually.
So yeah,
every single day.
I take offense to the Roman Empire thing because Paige hit me with it. I'm like, I don't know, like once a week, once every 2 weeks, because to me the real question is, and if like maybe it was just the people that I knew growing up, but if you walked into that group and like, hey, how often do you think about the Second World War? It would be every single fucking day.
Sure.
Every single day. I have lived my life since I have heard about the Second World War. I have thought about the Second World War in some capacity.
Oh my god. Wow.
Literally every single day of my life.
Wow.
To the point where if I start talking about it in any way, I see my wife's brain just shut the fuck off and her eyes glaze. And now I'm starting to see the baby's eyes glaze. And it's like, I need to cut it out. I need to
I just
kibosh it.
I don't there's no fucking epigenetic memory in there. It's not happening, man. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, what was I gonna turn that into?
Did you know that the Browning automatic rifle, despite being an excellent rifle, was found in a ship by the German military, and they thought it was so awful that they sank it, despite the fact that it was tens of thousands of rifles and would actually helped the last-ditch 1944 war defense? It's true. They didn't think they were good, but they were.
Hey Pat, have you played Hearts of Iron?
No.
No?
No, I have no interest in that.
Oh, okay. Feels like there's a rabbit hole you could go down if you felt like.
Yeah, you would think, but actually I hate that shit.
Okay. All right. Well, in any case. All right. So, yeah, what did I do? So, I saw online, kudos as an account, Woodfrog, basically came up with a script that they applied to Megaman X games that could show you the boss AI pattern as it was happening. And
oh, that's interesting.
It was pretty cool. You would see basically like a clip of like the boss in the room, and then there's a range, and if you're standing in that range, there was 3 different attack options that it can roll through, and each has a percentage of a chance.
Does it show it in text or like a visual?
In text. It shows okay. You the range in a box form, in like a hitbox form, almost, and then it shows you the options beneath in text of like, do attack A, 30%, attack B, 10%, attack, and so and it kind of puts it all together, and then if you stand a little further back, it switches those options to a different configuration and a different series of options as well, and like you see as you can break down exactly how the AI is working. And so I saw that and I was like, that's pretty fucking cool. That's interesting. And it reminded me that I was curious about and did buy Megaman XDive offline or CrossDive offline. And I wanted to know how that conversion worked, because what basically was, it was a Megaman Gatcha game that was...
Team says very positive.
That was, out for mobile and had, of course, all the Gatcha mechanics and things that you would expect to bilk your pocket. They made an offline version where you could just play and then unlock everything normally. The first thing I found out right off the bat was the Devil May Cry collaborations were not available.
Are you fucking serious?
Immediately. So because
wow,
because that's my point of interest was like, okay, I feel like let me go check out some Mega Man. This AI thing got me thinking about that, and let me see if I can go see what that Zero Virgil and Dante Mega Man thing were about. And you find out immediately that they were removed alongside Monster Hunter and a number of other collaborations. The next thing you find out when you
They own every property
they do.
Together that you mentioned. Why bother removing them?
I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe there were collaborations that were not Capcom properties, and then they just said, fuck it, we're taking it all out. But whatever the case is, that sucked, right? So right off the bat, it's like, okay. Then you find out, scrolling down in your Google search, that Game Nexus has modded them back in. So people are figuring out how to do that, and I think just the Devil May Cry ones right now, but not every aspect of them, but at the very least just having them show up as on the character select list and having them playable does work, if not some of the other things. So you can mod your shit and do it. So it's like, okay. So then I go down a little bit of a rabbit hole of trying to figure out how that works, because to get that in, you have to install something that has a series of instructions that requires you install something that has a series of instructions that has you required to install something. And so you have to do like, the mod container with the extra bits and this and the libraries and that, and you da 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 da. And so you fuck around and get that going, and you install your Bepin X, which is a hilarious name for a mod manager because it's called Bepin. Yeah, I got them back in, and then I was like, all right, let's play this Mega Man game that is the only thing that the franchise was really gonna get anytime soon, because this is the state of Mega Man. There's a ton of characters that are just like, okay, every version of X you can imagine, every version of like all of the Mega Man, like here's your Star Force, here's your EXE, here's your full armor from X1 and then from X2. So specifically X1 has the version of the charge burst that does the big like arc behind him with the kind of dragon wave energy, but X2 has the Giga Crash. And you're like, oh shit, those are the differences between them. That's cool. It is, and like when you see a character select screen that is that big and has that much you can unlock and this many weapons, though, I'm like, okay, well, I know it's Gatcha, so it's got to be about that variety, but there's no way that like they can actually feel distinct, right? Because they just like the amount of effort it would take to actually make these characters play and feel like unique would be a lot. They've got to be shortcutting this, and that's kind of the through line here, which sucks.
Oh, great.
Every character is kind of, in order to have this much variety, every character is kind of amalgamated into a Mega Man Omni type that is
35 different varieties of multi-grain toast.
So you get like two shoulder button unique abilities that are like the things that are distinct to this character, but the way you kind of run around, jump, shoot man stuff is basically a mixture of Zero, X, Axel, and Vile all in one. Because you have run, jump, shoot, dash, air dash, double jump, etc. And then you kind of by default have a ability to switch between a buster or a sword. So then you can just, if you want a Zero style with any version of the character, you kind of can. And you're also omnidirectional aiming, like Axel is able to aim in all directions. So you're doing that, and it adds a lock-on mechanic, which kind of makes it so that you don't really have to actually aim at anything. You just kind of run and hold shoot, and so it's like,
it's funny because Vampire Survivors, I mean, we talked about it earlier, right? It kind of exposed the lie. Like, you're describing something that I also had happen to me when I was playing Honkai Star Rail, in which the goal is to have it kind of play itself. But like, then it's like, it'll play itself. Now give me more money so it can play itself more. Whereas when I go play the Vampire Survivors or the Hollow Cure, it's like, why do I want it to play itself? So that my TV flashes more colors faster.
Yeah. It does feel like you I mean, at least while the challenges are in the inviting you into the Gacha world stage, you get this overpowered like run through and just blast everything in 2 seconds kind of feeling. Sure, you can disable the auto aim and all that stuff, but I feel like the way it's set up is kind of, the default character is meant to just run and hold button and kind of blast through the stage, and then eventually like things will come at you that have more HP, and then eventually those things will have so much HP that even with the lock on, it'll just kind of be like, well, the only way to get better here is to go and dump credits into your make your buster stronger.
Sounds like you're literally describing one of those auto-scrolling zombie games where you shoot the balloons.
Sure, and then you're like, okay, so power up the buster level to fire stronger bullets or increase the rate of fire. Every time you beat a boss, you can customize. Like, there's a million little add-ons you can tweak. Like, a boss gives you a card that can make this weapon a little bit stronger by a percentage, but you can upgrade the card, or you can upgrade the base weapon. You can, and like you do a lot of these little number tweaking to kind of push your power level, which is like a number you can see that's to be strong enough to hit the recommended stage. But if it's underneath, then you can, again, I assume in the Gacha version, pay more money for the ability to, like, make your power strong enough to handle the stage. In this case, it's play more, but it is kind of interesting how it hits there's a 2-stage ramp up where you go from like being able to like kind of just run through a stage and clear it to like you get hit in one shot and die. And the reward behind that exact moment is Mega Man X command mission scarf like skin for Air X. So it's like it's very, very specifically designed to be like, you hit this wall and you're gonna want that reward. So you're like, maybe I'm just right there, you know. It's very meticulous. And I feel as if like between seeing that and then, you know, you kind of also see you see some stuff you want, right? And you see some fun ideas, and it's like, oh, here's Sigma as a Bancho, and he's got a bunch of wild specific things that like he's basically Jotaro posing or whatever. Here's some fun Mega Man X kind of like deep cut references and characters that were never playable being like playable and such. But it does kind of feel like, man, if this weren't just kind of going for gacha like as its game design, even if you take a gacha game out of the gacha world and put it into a place where you earn it step by step just by playing, it still has that shitty kind of onboarding ramp up thing to it. It still has so many currencies that you don't really understand how to acquire them. It doesn't fully explain them. It still
it actually takes a lot of work to turn that back into a real video game.
It does, right? It still has a menu that is essentially your joystick is moving a cursor around because it's a touchscreen that is not been updated to
Can I fight someone at Bungie like in the street for inventing that fucking style of interface?
It's
because Destiny
so
was
annoying,
the first game that did it.
And
it was Destiny 1 that was like, man, what if we didn't have to actually make interfaces? What if we just had the controller be the shittiest mouse cursor ever? Ooh.
And everything that pops up, and everything that pops up is a window, so like it has to be closed to get back to, you know, so it's just like it's clunky when you're not touching it on a touch device, you know. And you know, and then so I'm like, the fastest way to do this is to actually have a mouse in one hand and have the controller over here, and then use the mouse between missions and then do the missions themselves, right? Then it's like, all right, the game has to handle I guess loading stages into, it has to handle loading content into the game in a way that, I guess, whatever, like the assets, you probably can't have a giant insane stage size, so fine, some of the bigger, crazier, longer stages from other games that are not going to be there, but it cuts it up into like, it takes any given stage you remember from Mega Man X and cuts it into like 3 screens, 4
Lit.
And then
cool.
ends, and then you pick up from the next one. But every time you do so, you also have, you know, whatever. You have a waifu who shows up, and she's all like, doing her waifu things to, you know, be like, hey, go save the Mega Man member. And I'm just like, oh, man. Like, I guess I wanted to know. I'm like, could you salvage what is effectively a Mega Man game out of something that's introduced in modern gacha fucking stylings, and it seems like you can't unless you just completely remake it, you know, because obviously 20XDX and 30XDX are like, you know, the places to go if you want to get your like Mega Man-esque action in with new releases and shit, but I legitimately wanted to know, can it be done, you know? And it's like, yeah, you have the ability here to, like, if you wanted to take all this bullshit out, make a straight Mega Man ass game, and like even make it so that when you pick Vile has his cannon and he has his shots, and you have the specific things that he does, which, like, when you played if anyone remembers the PSP game, you know, when you got to play as Vile, yeah, it was like, you know, each character there has like a different way that they play, but that's the fun of it. And it's not kind of just like Vile, X, Zero, and Axel are all kind of the same character, except their specific shoulder button abilities are different, you know?
So, Wooly, you're completely right about everything you said, but in order to make it a thing instead of they would have to do more than just cut, right? Like, you were describing a game that cut out the gacha, but then didn't replace it with anything. They just literally cut out the buy money part. Because that's fast and it's easy.
They cut out the buy money part. They put a mouse cursor where your touchpad would be, and they got rid of the collab events and kind of put the seasonal ones as like things you can optionally turn on yourself or whatever. But it's like exactly,
we're done here, boys.
We're in
above and beyond.
Yeah, it was a fucking absolute just like port job, you know, in and out, and like it's just a bummer because I'm like, oh, the ingredients if you wanted to make something here are there, but yeah, it would require more than just removal and replacement, you know. And like when you hit a stage that's like, okay, so you're not just buying the points to level up your strength or whatever, but you can go back and grind if you want to get that point. And I was kind of just like, all right, I guess I felt it. I'm good. I'm done. You got, you know, I went through the trouble of modding them back in too. The Dante and Virgil, and like I don't know, I might go and see if I can just mod the currency to be like, hey, unlock these things already, because like because the moment they were available, it's
now that's no longer a crime.
You then go and you're like, all right, click on them. How do I unlock X Dante? And then it's like you buy him with 30 of these tickets, right? And it's like a chip, and I'm like, okay, what is that? And you can't mouse over it to find out what it is. It's just an icon, and I'm like, okay, but I don't know what that icon is. And then I'm like, okay, is it in the game FAQ? No. Is it explained anywhere in one of the tutorials? Not quite. Let me go to the website. Is it there? No. Okay, all right. It's not in the game anywhere. It doesn't label what that thing is, right? And you use it to buy a couple of other things that are events as well. I'm like, what could this currency be? Because the game currency has Zenny, and then there's other like rainbow tokens that are used for other stuff. But there's so many different types of currency, right? And so I'm like, okay, let me go to the wiki. No. Let me go to Reddit. Is there anyone talking about this? And it's like, okay, no. There are things called like elemental metals, I think, but I don't think that's what these are either. And like, no one is actively discussing what this type of currency is that you need for these special unlocks, right? And I'm like, this is incredible. Like, the obfuscation is like a wall to the content. And every place that you select a character, there's always a like, there's a little button that's like, how do I get them? You know, and it'll be like, you can sell, use, or like acquisition requirements. And you click on that, and then it'll show you, oh, either beat this stage or buy it off the shop, and then in the shop you use this currency. But like, it doesn't tell you how to get it. So, you know,
I'm listening to you describe this, and what I'm hearing is a wide variety of seasonal currencies that exist for two reasons. One, to obfuscate the real cost of literally anything by burying it so deep via 10 currencies that you can never figure out how much anything costs. And two, if you do want these things, you have to sit there and spend your attention on figuring it out instead of being able to watch 10 new girl dinner videos.
Sure, exactly. You know, and so like the way I eventually was able to intuit it was because I was just like, let me go back to like threads where people were discussing these like collab events and like what goes on and so on. And people are basically in there. Someone made a reference to like, should I spend my collab tickets on this? And in that one thing, I was like, collab tickets. Okay, there is is that the thing? Is that the specific type of? And that word is never used anywhere, right? Or whatever. And like, yeah, and like that's kind of it. Or no, not a collab, because those were removed. Event tickets, I think, or something. And it's like, yes. So it turns out that like later on, if you do enough events and you level up the main thing, eventually they introduce a brand new currency to you when you get further enough into the game. But until then, it's never even mentioned. But it just shows you that there's a thing here and it's locked. And you're like, oh my God, man, I loathe everything about how this entire genre exists today, and I hate
think
the fact
about how much extra dopamine you could have in your head right now.
Like the fact
if you had spent the time, instead of explaining this to me, you would instead just sat there and played one round of Vampire Survivors. Your head would be full of chemicals. You would be full of chemicals.
It fucking. The most frustrating aspect is like that, and I know this is not every game, but for the worst of the gacha shit, where especially for stuff that you care about or whatever, if it's relating to a brand, where like in this case, like the game
brand.
when the waifu pops up and goes, hey, do you have memories of like playing Mega Man X until it was too late and at 8 p.m. you had to go to bed because it was a school night? Those memories are all lost in the digital world, and you have to go save them because they're being corrupted by irregular data, and like it's all that stuff, and it's kind of like, yeah, I do remember having fun with Mega Man actually, and like if you took all that like gacha shit we talk about and even the little tingles of the loot box theme and the Vampire Survivors and all that stuff, if you took that all out, I was hoping that what was left would still be something vaguely resembling a Mega Man X game, and it does, but the power levels and pacing and genericization, if that's a word, of like the character you play as in order to make everyone playable just kills things that I didn't even necessarily know that I was gonna lack, because I never. Like, when Axel showed up, I was like, oh, well, he has a different aiming style, and okay, I guess he can aim in all directions. If they design the game around that, that could be fine. But, Mega Man's here, and Zero's there, and they play like they do, and that's, he's a new character, whatever. But it wasn't like now X and Zero are forced to play like Axel at the same time, and the whole thing is changing what they were,
I think the most depressing thing about this whole thing is that as I'm hearing you describe, like, hoping that there'd be, like, a good core deep down, is that my brain goes, well, if it had a good core deep down and the monetization wasn't too crazy, then you wouldn't be playing the offline version that they fucking put out to recoup costs after they took down the online version. It would just be the online version because it would be good enough to actually pull people in and keep them spending money without having to make a fucking offline version.
Not to mention that there was an online version that was a Steam game that was even lazier about a lot of that stuff. And apparently, from reading angry Reddit posts, there was a refund for unspent currency, but there was no refund for spent currency. So anything that you progressed and unlocked on your profile was just lost.
That's funny.
So I kind of wonder. I'm like, when I see these like the Hoyo stuff that I seem like, oh, look at that Zenless Zone Zero in this super pretty animation, and here's the Genshin Impact Judgment Cut end, and here is the character that looks like a thing doing a really wild animation. Like, if you took all of the gacha mechanics and like dopamine fucking hooks out of that shit, is there a video game in there that's like an action game that's really fun and would be recognizable as a simple but cool?
Yeah, the Hoyo games are like that.
Okay.
It's like that's the danger, is that deep down underneath them they're like fun, like RPGs or fun action games.
I hope so, because it feels like you strip it naked to reveal that, like, oh, it was all about the shiny graphic when you click on XDive Zero and you see that he has wings that are glowing and your teenage brain is like, oh, the Buster is so cool now, and he's and it's floating and it's doing that little flash animation thing where it keeps looping because this is a cell phone game, like it feels like it's like, right, it's all in that little moment right there, like a shiny card out of your wrapping paper, and it's not in how does the dash, jump, shoot, charge, release feel. Because it's a Mega Man game, and when I dash jump, I want the shadows behind me, and then when I kick off the wall, I want the shadows to follow me as I'm charging, and I release right before I come back onto the platform. Can I do that? And the answer is no, because it's much more stilted, because the gameplay part of it feels less like the Mega Man you kind of remember, especially the ones that were really smooth. Fuck, man. That's the thing. Pull me in with that,
No.
Yeah.
No, it's the guy opening up his fucking sketchy jacket going, hey, do you kids like Mega Man?
Yeah. So anyway, and then there's like, and then you scroll through the things, it's like, hey, but look, like if you get to stage like 17.5, you can unlock Magma Dragoon. Remember Magma Dragoon? Wasn't he awesome?
Oh
Magma
man, I
Dragoon
remember
was the
Magma
shit.
Dragoon. Oh, he did an uppercut.
Sure
That's
do.
crazy.
In fact, yeah,
Wow.
he's one of the few playable bosses because we know you want him, and we know you want fucking you want the ability to do your Shoryuken, you want your Hadoken. Here's your light doing the same thing. Here's your fucking Storm Eagle. You know what I mean? Like, we know which ones you love. So, yeah. It's anyway. Look, that was. I feel like the latest chapter of like, I'm checking out something new and trying to see if like the gameplay can stand or pull me in aside from the hand waving Jedi mind tricks you're trying to do to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked about Fate a little bit, where it's like, okay, yeah, it's Strikers, it's not, it's less than Muso, but if you are Muso, then you're down with this. Okay, that's fine. But I always like, I kind of want to hope that you have a good game and then you put a bunch of bullshit mechanics into it, and if you took them out, you could salvage it. Especially when they added things like the ability to, connect an Xbox controller to your phone and play a normal game. So when I played World of Demons, the platinum game with all the yokai in it, and I was like, oh, this is cool. There's fun dodging and slashing and shit. Or, like I kind of I'm like, this is a fun game, and playing it with a controller, I can get past that like gatchification wall that disgusts me when I see it.
I have to say, despite your like litany of issues here, which seem extremely justified, at the end of the day, like, it still got you in that this is the most stacked year of games like in 20 years.
Mm-hmm. And
because it has Megaman in it, you played some fucking offline gotcha knockoff.
So the funny part is, I didn't grab the original, right? Like when it was it up and doing its thing and selling its points. But when they ported it to an offline version and said, hey, we took out all the extra currency shit, now you can just play a game and unlock it normally.
Right. So like your like limit is like a lot stronger than most people, but like literally just slapping Mega Man on what sounds like a piece of shit was enough to get you to go, yeah, I like Mega Man. I'll look at it.
If the way the gameplay felt didn't have those issues, if when I grabbed, each of those respective characters, they actually felt like unique characters that...
Sure, but Wooly, if this was the exact same game, but it was fucking Rock Robots 25 extra edition, you would never give it a second look, ever.
Well, I mean, you say that, but I also did just grab a fucking Fate game and take a look at it, right?
That's true. But Fate is also a big, gigantic, mega super property.
Yeah, but...
Like, do you own 30XX on Steam?
I'm pretty sure I do.
Okay, have you played it?
I did play 30XX, and I did, yeah, and I played more of 20XX. But this was a point of curiosity, and then it was one that I remember making a bookmark in my head about, especially. Yeah. And then you see the fucking Dante and Virgil thing, and you're like, oh, okay, you'll pull me in with some of that as well.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of what's it called? Fucking what is it called? Something of Combat, Devil May Cry, Combat.
Pinnacle of Combat.
Pinnacle of Combat. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have given that game a fucking glance. I wouldn't have moved my eyes 1 millimeter if it didn't have Nero in it.
No, but then they added PvP, and then Itsuno said, I am overseeing this game carefully. And it's like, okay. They're the DMC mobile game. Yeah.
You're right.
So that's exactly it, right? I just no, and I mean, if you want to fucking, like if I'm examining every aspect of my curiosity here, part of this is like, hey, I'm checking out new things I'm curious about. I'm also down to bring up on the podcast to discuss what my, you know what I mean? Like this is
there's that. Hey man, what if I put my dick in this? Would it be weird enough to talk about on the podcast?
Yeah,
let's find out.
And then there's also the aspect of like me knowing that with any of these like new Fate, be it Grand Blue or any of these like new franchises where I'm just kind of like looking at it from the outside. If they ever were like to probably drop like a Hoyo, like, here's just a normal Hoyo game without any of the gacha shit, and it's kind of just like whatever, like a straight, character action game or some shit, I might bump that up in my curiosity playlist, and I might like jump into that a little sooner just to see like, oh, how does this feel? How does it play? Because I'm super duper interested in like whether the mechanics hold up despite all the fucking, glitz and glam. So yeah, anyway.
This whole part of the discussion reminds me of a few days ago, maybe 5 or 6 days ago. I think it was after last week's podcast. Somebody added both of us on X.com with a trailer of Spawn in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And it was Wooly Wolves and at Pat Stares at, holy shit, guys, look! And it's like, I don't even like Spawn. Why the fuck would you fucking why would I give a shit?
I like Spawn, but that's a hilarious fucking tie-in. More than that was fucking Helsing in Call of Duty, right?
So
where
bad.
Alucard is just weirdly got this. He looks like someone wearing one of those anime furry outfits where it's not a furry, but it's like it's a full costume with the anime head that's too big, and it looks like someone's wearing an Alucard mascot outfit. It's terrifying.
I know exactly what you mean.
And then he's spinning the guns and doing these little like elaborate executions, like shooting the person in the head on the ground. And
dude, all of the guest people in Call of Duty look like terrible. They look terrible.
It looks like an Alucard Kigurumi, and it's like Alucard doesn't behave this way. He doesn't like fucking do these elaborate, pop, I shot you, oh, now you're dead, and then sneak away like Sneak King, like, it's so fucking, like, what is this tie-in, and like, why doesn't an expensive-ass franchise have someone to just look at the character tie-in and go like, oh, yeah, you need to like actually animate him and move him and make him do things that are faithful to the character, like, this is crazy,
But Fortnite, oh man.
Yeah, it's
Fortnite got Goku in there.
Sure. Does Goku look, sound, and act like Goku in Fortnite?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, he does.
And when it's not faithful, it's only because they're like, no, we actually made Chun-Li's ass bigger.
Listen, Goku in Fortnite is the most accurate portrayal of Goku I have personally encountered since that night a couple years ago when me and my buddies were up too late on Discord watching live videos of Goku breaking into your house ASMR. Have you heard Goku breaks into your house ASMR?
I have not.
It's just like increasingly loud knocking on your door noises with the sound clip of, hey, it's me, Goku. Getting closer. It's way funnier when it's 4 a.m. and you're up too late.
I have seen Naruto grabbing Sakura, dumping her in the dumpster, turning around and posing with Hinata, putting her right where she belongs for a selfie
that's good.
pose.
I like that.
So, Fortnite's out there. Anyways, that's it. I definitely feel like this is, if anything, a good excuse to be like, yo, go check out 30 XTX, go check out 20 XTX, right? Those are some fun ways you can play something resembling, aggressively resembling Mega Man X in co-op, even in multiplayer. Although it does zoom the screen out a bit too far for my liking in some instances. Yeah, all right.
So do you know when a thought connects to another thought and you just get in the cascade of stupid shit in your mind, and your mind just runs away with it? Hey, if you guys want to, if folks at home want to find out what I'm laughing at, I hope you were part of the movement at the time. But you can go watch a YouTube video called Fighting Gold, but you're playing it louder so that you don't hear your parents fighting in the background. And it's just like and it's just like the music keeps getting louder and louder, and mom and dad are clearly getting divorced in the back.
Fighting Gold. You better match. They were out my life.
Oh my god, dude. It's
yeah. That is good. That is good. There's a couple of those.
The creativity of people just grabbing one bit and like, let's see how many remixes we can make of this. Every possible variation that's just the exact same thing with a different title. I saw a video somebody posted on the subreddit yesterday, which was Mortal Kombat 9 fatalities, where it skips to the next one when I die or get a boner. And it just skips at completely random periods. Like Sub-Zero grabs your throat and it just skips to the next one.
Oh, god damn it. Yeah. Yeah, no, there's I heard about in the conquest mode equivalent, I think it's invasions in MK1, like there's a bunch of like wild ass random things your character can get like afflicted with, some of which include like literally coughing. And so you can be in the middle of playing and sometimes your character will just start coughing and like it'll interrupt. It's like a Sakurai slip.
Jesus Christ.
And then another one is like a big fart debuff or a big fart attack or whatever, which your character could just fucking rinse the screen out Wario style. And I'm just like, oh no, can everyone on the cast do this? Oh
yeah,
fuck.
Right.
Oh god damn it. Then it's then it's too late.
It's too late.
It's too late.
Ed Boon knew what he was doing.
Yep. Someone out there is already enjoying themselves way too much. It's too fucking late. It's yeah. See, the power of Smash Brothers is that only Wario farts, right?
That's right.
It's not like you can get
Sakurai mandates it.
It's not like an item that you can get makes every possible character on that cast fart, because if so, yes. So, anyways, get your fucking snoofs out of here, bro. Yeah, that's that, and you know, quick note, I'm continuing with FF16, and
yeah, where are you at right now?
So yeah, FF16 again. Spoiler warning if you don't want to hear anything about late game. I just beat I beat Barney, and I'm at the gate that seems like I went through the castle town in Waloed, and we're about to with the whole gang, you know, charge Ultima. It seems like, and I gotta
been messing with Odin's shit.
So two things. One, I don't. Yeah, I feel like it was a lot of the energy of hey, it's all downhill after Dion. I think I get that, like, plot wise, I feel that, but I gotta say, for carrying what's left, I do appreciate Barnabas a lot. I think there was a solid, because like the bit of him being just like, I am a religious ass zealot and there's nothing else to this, right? And I got some sick ass judgment cuts, but and, you know, and I'm kind of like, what? Yeah, okay, you know, let's see where this is going. And then you get little bits of him that are like creepier, like the bit with the mom. Anything about that? No, not really. Slept near. What are we doing? You know, but I think, like, you know, and they have their battle of the wills, and it's like, hey, you're a walking hypocrite because you think free will sucks, but yet here you are choosing to do these things, and so you get the yelling match between him and Clive, and you know, that's always fine. But the moment he just cracks and starts laughing in the middle of the fight, and it's like one of those, like, okay, all right, no, this is awesome, you know, like there's a little bit of a, like, yeah, you need free will to enjoy that, to enjoy yourself as much as you are right now, but like that little bit of like the real personality shining through is a really fun thing that I enjoyed in the middle of an awesome sequence. And I also really appreciated that they went, hey, we just did the raddest shit you could ever do in icon battle form in space.
The biggest.
So what the fuck are we going to come down off of that with? And it's like, we're going to stay in human form.
I totally get that.
Let's go up to icon. Fuck that. Get back down to human form. Round 3. I was like, oh, that's sick. I like that. You know, I appreciate that they stuck it out in human for that battle.
For me,
'Cause
like Barney
really
was
fun.
For me, my big problem with Barney, I had trouble like vocalizing it or putting my thoughts in order. And I saw last week on the podcast thread, somebody summed up really well for me. And it was like he's going on and on about his religious shit and the future and the free will stuff. But like you've already talked to Ultima enough that you know he's wrong. Like not even that like his belief is part of a larger plan that you don't understand. Just like you are actively being tricked.
Yes.
And like so all of his speeches are you just listening to a guy like jerk off?
Yes.
Like
now,
a bunch of nonsense?
And I guess what you're kind of waiting for, because you know he's brainwashed and fully in, right? But like what you're kind of wondering or waiting for is like, you know, is there a bit to this where like Hugo or Benedicta, like there's a self-interest or a moment that kind of explains something about them that's a different facet, you know, of like why and how they're just so committed to the cause or whatever. Is it like what's the selfish motivator here? And yeah, I don't know that like that's kind of what I was kind of waiting to see if there was anything, and I feel like it wasn't fully necessarily that. There was no last minute, you know, swerve on it that was like an aggressive justifier for him. He was just a dumb hypocrite that was like, you know, following along, and it was probably the path of least resistance. You're also a fucking dominant. And then of course there's and I still don't know. We're learning about the, you know, I guess the Akashic and the bit of like returning as opposed to, so there's a little bit of a world twist there, but yeah, I do like that, like, you know, in the middle of your Sam fight, so to speak, you know, it's just he's getting so into it, just like almost wanting to like hold him, like he's getting so into it that like he breaks his fucking bullshit zealous stoic form, you know, and kind of lets that out, and you know, and to the end you ultimately know as well that you're not really like, he doesn't really care about the outcome being one where he's lost because technically still you're a container anyways, and yada yada.
Yeah.
Just, you know, so you're going through those motions as well. But I expected nothing of Barney, and I was like, oh, that's fun. I enjoy that, you know. So we're writing it out.
I have two follow-up questions. One is, this is actually slightly broader than 16. 15 actually does the exact same thing. I don't know if this is just my personal taste or more people are like dislike this. I don't like it when I'm built up like, guys, we're gonna go to the big scary country and it's gonna be crazy, and we're gonna go in there and we're gonna have to figure out every single person in this nation is dead. Actually, the whole country is like a level.
Yeah, I kind of like it. When that went down, I kind of didn't find it that surprising, in the sense that it's like, right, we're wrapping up here, right? We're not going to actually introduce a level of density in setting and game that rivals what you just did. You know, if anything, this is it's a glorified corridor that is continent shaped. Holy fucking shit. He gives you a Roman cancel.
Yeah, does he? So like,
what?
As you get further in the game, you're like, wow, Bahamut's thing is really busted because it's constant AoE damage, and then you get Shiva, and you're like, this is a dog. So I don't know if you remember, like 8 weeks ago or 10 weeks ago, I said that like some of the shit you get in FF16 would make Dante blush. Like Shiva's dodge is so stupid, it's so busted. And then you get Zen Tetsuken, and Roman canceling into Zen Tetsuken, and you're like you're doing that big fight to get to the fucking crystal, and you're loading into zones with like 100 enemies, and you're just going like, no, it's no fighting here. It's
like, yeah, they give you Bloodhound Step with extra fucking buffs on it, and then you get the fucking the first thing on that list is just cancel any action. And if you know anything about canceling and anything else, you're like, oh, that we're done. That's it. That's the, like, you've in a world where all I had was a period to end every sentence, you've given me a comma. You know. and then you furthermore it recovers quicker if you use it during certain attacks or if you use it in certain applications, like as a bat within, for example. Like if you do it late to recover damage, you literally come out, you use it to recover Ukemi style, just instantly cancel out, or you use it to fucking link one thing into the other, and I'm like, oh my god, yeah, no, that's it. That's
there's a reason, like the part after I got that, I named the title of my stream Zent had suck on D's nuts, because it's just,
and it's a deleter.
You can rock the game with just Odin.
Yeah. It's clear that like when you level 5 it and unleash, it's like, okay, screen cleared, move on, next. Congrats, you built it up, you found your way. And you know, and to that I can see it's like, okay, how can I still want to, like, I'm gonna keep the RC on and build up the level 5, but you want, as long as you can still continue to just like, let me just fight, let me at least earn some of that shatter. You know?
I think they actually timed some of the end game, like normal enemy groups, to Xantitskin's cooldown. Because if you have like the accessory on and you use the ult, you get 4.5 of the 5 bars you need.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And if so, you do that, like that's literally second one of it.
Yeah.
And then you hit a guy like 2-3 times, or maybe you used like the lightning charge, right? And then you do Xantitsuken, and then the fight is over. Like it's gone. And I found that by the time I got to the next fight, that shit had come back off cooldown.
Running through the city.
So I did like that whole sequence. It was just like delete.
Exactly.
Delete.
Run.
Delete.
Yeah,
delete. Delete.
And you know, and like Josh is like, God, how many of them are there? And he's like, oh, you know, and they're all tired. But you're like, no, you can just you can nuke every one of these waves as they come in.
There could be an infinite amount of enemies in this room, Gav. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. I basically, exactly, I can see how the full investment in all of that, like maxed all the supers, effectively, they all, the animation is lasting long enough to like let your cooldown come right back up. I'm going to probably continue with the 3-3 setup just so I can still swing at things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's insane. A fucking Roman cancel
it is a move set that would make like Nero embarrassed. Like, why does Shiva's dodge better than Bayo's? Like, that's crazy. That's super nuts.
I mean, canceling is like always the like last level of style when it comes to anything DMC related anyways. Like fucking all the shit in 4 where you're fly canceling and dodge canceling, and you know what I mean, like all the shit. It's just the ability to start something, then turn it into something else and recover some of that time, recover some of that cooldown. The enemy never gets a chance. And furthermore, if you have a lightning rod out, it's just melting, you know.
It's funny because like Odin's so much flashier, it's so zany, but I actually think that Shiva is more insane. Like the ability to freeze any enemy for like 10 straight seconds at will is so fucking force multiplier on all the other skills. And
like the bad dodge is a freeze.
It's still good. It's not bad.
The perfect dodge is all right, like training dummy. What do you want to do? You know? Yeah. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So yeah, we'll see what's up. And with that, I'm going to hammer on. So we're going to do another 2 sessions of that this week. Probably finish it off this week. I want to get it out of the way. And then we will move on to the other things. So this week, 2 sessions of FF and try to wrap it up Wednesday or so. And then Thursday, Min's going to pop over. We're going to do a little birthday stream. He's got some games he wants to play, and we're going to do some do some fun stuff. So come hang out. Should be a good time. Wooly Versus on Twitch and on YouTube.
Hey, can I point out something about my schedule? So World of Horror is hitting 1.0 this Thursday on the 19th. It hit 1.0 not on last week's Friday the 13th, nor October 31st. Just on a nondescript Thursday in October. There was a Friday the 13th.
Do they usually do like, timing that is calendar?
No, but like it's a spooky game. It's a horror. Halloween.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, but I'm just all I think of is when you get your submission date and then you're waiting to hear back from, whatever a company to like, okay, here's the soonest you can release it. Here's your target, whatever. It's not necessarily like marketing date determining the outcome. It's like a bunch of technical bullshit behind the scenes, So, yeah. But there was in fact a Friday the 13th. That is true. Okay. I gotta use the bathroom, so
I also have to use the bathroom. Let's go pee.
For real.
Hooray!
For real this time. right. Quick word from our sponsors.
Why are you glaring at me, bro?
I'm not glaring at you. I'm glaring at this copy and making sure it's up to date.
Who would send you an up-to-date, a non-up-to-date coffee? The fuck? I'm gonna give up. I'm gonna drink my coffee. That's what I'm gonna do.
No one. Only the most responsible people that are on top of the ball. Always delivering what is needed. Hello! Fresh.
Oh man, you got me again. That's like 10 weeks in a row.
That's crazy.
You said hello, I was excited. Then you said fresh, I was like, yeah.
Just block the overhead, man.
I don't know how to do it.
Unless you want to get hit with the farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes.
I do.
Yeah.
I do want to get hit by that.
HelloFresh is basically America's #1 meal kit. It's going to help you skip trips to the grocery store, and it makes home cooking real easy. The schedule you have, as we all know, can get really, really bad. You can have your free time evaporate in the blink of an eye. I know that. And I also know that sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm hungry. I didn't even realize that I forgot
That's
about
every day, man.
I forgot about food. How do I solve this problem? Right? Well, sure, you can go waste your money and time on expensive ass trips to the grocery store.
I mean, you could go foraging for berries, but I mean, certain berry types have thorns, and then they bite you, and then you're all cut up, and you don't even have the berries.
Terrible. Also, there's a piece of advice I learned, which is never buy groceries on an empty stomach. Right? Because you overestimate everything, and you do a bad job planning for the next couple weeks when you're shopping.
And you're like, you know what I need? I need this much ice cream. That's what I need.
I need 40 pounds of meatloaf.
That's what I need.
Let's buy the ingredients for 40 pounds of meatloaf. It's a terrible idea. So don't do that. In fact, one of the best ways to not do that is to, when you're clear-headed, have a box shipped to you of all the things you want to eat, fresh, quick and easy. You can get HelloFresh to hook you up with home-cooked dinners that are makeable in 15 minutes. The less time than it takes to get delivery even, and you're getting the pre-portioned ingredients as well, so you don't have to figure out how to measure everything. There's a simple card. The steps are 1, 2, 3, bing, bam, boom. Apply heat, apply fire, and good food is right on its way.
You know what the other thing? You mentioned don't buy groceries on an empty stomach. Cooking food on a very empty stomach can also run into the same problem. So HelloFresh will proportion your food and be like, you have 2 people? You have 4 people? Because what we've done is we're like, oh, we're so hungry. And then we make like 8 people's worth of a dish. And we're like, we can't even fit this in the fridge.
Yeah. Good job. Exactly. You completely fuck it up by eating, what is it? You cook with your
eyes are bigger than your mouth.
Your eyes are bigger than your stomach. Yeah, there you go. That's it. So don't make that mistake. Let someone else figure it out for you. In particular, HelloFresh also has the market where you can get add-ons for different desserts and things like that. You can get an apple cider cake with caramel sauce. You can get barbecue pulled pork nachos if you want to set up some appetizers. Mini pumpkin cheesecake for your perfect Halloween treat.
I literally went to the house to get a chocolate tart to eat because of this ad. Because every time we do this ad, I get so hungry, I get upset.
As you should. I will forever praise the chicken pesto as the best. So yeah, by all means, lighten up the difficulty of food acquisition in your life. Get yourself in on the freshest ingredients delivered in a cold box straight to your door. Go to hellofresh.com/50superbeast. Use the code 50superbeast and you'll get 50% off plus free shipping. Once again, that's hellofresh.com/50superbeast, And with the code 50SuperBeast, you'll get 50% off plus free shipping. That's America's #1 meal kit. Thank you, HelloFresh.
Thanks, HelloFresh.
Podcast this week is sponsored by Bombas.
Hey, Bombas, what up, man? My feet are cold. Can you help me? They really are. I fucked up. I don't have anything on my feet right now.
It is getting colder outside. I had a morning where I looked out the window and I was like, oh, what an awesome day. Look at that. It's sunny. It's bright. What a nice turn of events. And within 15 minutes, it was gray again. I was like, oh, boy. The battle is being lost. Winter is starting to win. So
you know, now that I'm in BC, do you know what that's like? I wake up and it's gray, and they're like, maybe it'll turn Sunday, and it's Sunday. Maybe it'll turn sunny, and then in 100 days the sun comes out.
Sure. Yeah. All this to say, it's time to get warm. And in particular, you don't just want to be warm, but you want to be warm with stuff that feels good on your body. Because, like, I've put on some really thick comforter style hoodies and socks and mittens before. And once they get wet, they start to smell like garbage. And then they start getting, they actually keep your feet colder because of the wetness stays in longer, and the material is awful, and you're like, this is a nightmare. Why did I ever believe in it? So don't make the mistake of getting bad material on your warm clothing. Bombas has the good material, the moisture wicking material, the stuff that is stitched in a way where you don't have the seams that rip super easy. You don't have the weird smells after the wool gets a chance to like soak in it, and then it's just god awful the moment you pull it out of your pocket. So get in on the high quality materials that you can get. Socks are also the most requested items in homeless shelters. So when you buy socks from Bombas, they give a pair to someone who needs it. One purchase is one donated, and they have a 100% happiness guarantee, of course. So if you, for any reason, want to return, you can do so. Bombas will do whatever it takes to make it right. So you can get yourself in on not just socks, but they've got underwear, they've got undershirts, a couple of different things you can keep your body warm with breathable material as well for the coldest winter that is coming. Get in there with a holiday gift, maybe. Bombas gift boxes have a number of cozy goodies, and they come in a beautifully designed box, so you don't even have to wrap it. Go check it out. Bombas.com/superbeast. Use the code SUPERBEAST. You'll get 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/superbeast. And you use the code SUPERBEAST at checkout. Thank you, Bombas.
Thanks, Bombas.
All right, so this week the podcast is sponsored by DoorDash, and DoorDash is how you can get yourself food from the places you love to eat at without actually having to be there.
Now, I will say, oftentimes they also use cars to get to you. It's not necessarily all, Sonic style cartoon running.
No, and dashing can technically apply to a vehicle as long as that vehicle drives over a bunch of arrows that are on the road that accelerate the car to breakneck speeds for a couple seconds. Your dashing by default applies to something that you do on foot by either tapping forward or by holding the button, usually R3. But once you get into a vehicle, you got to hit that pad, and then you're taking off.
Yeah.
So if you're getting your food delivered to you, you want it delivered quickly, and that's where DoorDash comes in handy. They do not miss any of the pads on the road. Believe it or not, they weave through. No, I don't know how they make it to you, but I assume that they're
quickly and reliably.
I assume that they're using every side path, every little turn, every little shortcut. That the Rainbow Road jumps where you fall off into space and then land back on at the bottom of the track. I assume that's involved in getting your food.
And your food doesn't even get shaken up. It's crazy.
Not at all. Yeah. So, of course, DoorDash is definitely how you can get yourself food from the number of places you love to eat at, the neighborhood go-tos, the favorites, the places you want to check out that you haven't checked out yet. That's in particular what I like to do by scrolling through what's available. And you can absolutely get yourself your order delivered right to the door with a contactless delivery even, so they can just drop it off, head out, peace out. You open up the door, and it's right there waiting for you.
All that remains of the person who delivered your food was 1, the food, and 2, a human-shaped cloud from where they dashed off, like a Looney Tunes character.
It's quite incredible. You can also get your groceries taken care of in this manner too as well. DoorDash delivers groceries. They deliver accessories and little pickups, things you might need from the corner store. Whatever you're looking for, you can get that taken care of. And if you join Dash Pass as well, you can get those deliveries with 0% with $0 delivery fee on all eligible orders with Dash Pass. So, yeah, it is a great way to get yourself what you're looking for when you need it, especially if you forgot. And right now, what you want to do is... sorry, give me a second. I got a little lost there. Excuse me. You can get 50% off up to $20 on your first order with DoorDash when you enter the code BEASTGROCERY. Don't forget that's code BEASTGROCERY for 50% off your first order up to $20 when you try DoorDash. For even more value, once again, you can check out the Dash Pass membership. That gets you savings on all of your grocery and restaurant favorites with a $0 delivery fee on all eligible orders. So you can check that out as well. Thank you, DoorDash.
Thanks, DoorDash.
Okay. So...
where do you want to fucking start on this shit?
I'll start with this. I don't know that I've ever felt... I felt a new feeling this week. A brand new feeling, a new emotion.
Dude, like, we're older now, right? We're in our mid-30s. You still run into, like, brand new emotions, and you're like, oh, there were a couple left to go. Exciting.
A brand new emotion was felt when I watched a trailer for the merger of Activision Blizzard and King in an emotional emotional tone trailer was released celebrating the merger that has completed as all of these mega corps came together and are now one. And they grabbed every little bit that they could. They've got a little bit of Hi-Fi Rush in there going, yeah. They got your StarCraft, it's about time. Welcome home, says the orcs. Home. And big old brand trailer moment. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? And why would you think, oh, this is a good idea? Because of all the bad press they've gotten over this, we need to, like, fight back against it. And let's, like, make it a positive and show you the fucking Candy Crush characters joining up with Crash Bandicoot. And it's all one. Plus you. Don't forget about you. It's fucking gross and weird, and I hate that there's a trailer for the merger.
This appeals to the absolute most brain dead fucking morons. Who do you remember? Like, man, Microsoft's gonna they're gonna do everything we want. They're gonna bring back Tony Hawk. I'm like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. Microsoft that somehow allowed Halo to be fucking terrible for 10+ years. And
the latest
fucking
season,
put Redfall out.
I heard the latest season is starting to turn it around, apparently, or something like that.
Dude,
I don't know.
no, you know what? you don't need any more information than what you just said, because the idea that a Halo game needs to be turned around is like my point. Like, they had the golden goose. They just managed it into the dirt. You should be playing Halo every day because there's a free Halo you can play, but you're not because it sucks.
Yeah, I have not heard head nor hair of anything relating to Halo in, I feel like, a year now, probably.
Yep.
Except to
there
just
you
catch
go.
that it's like, oh, season 5 dropped and people are starting to enjoy it. And it's like, that's rough, man, because Halo's usually a part of the conversation. You know, not that it's I expect the Venn diagram of overlapping circles I run into to hit it, but there's always some shit on the periphery that I see or hear about, and like, yeah, no,
you know what,
one's talked about it anyway.
This tone trailer that some executive told someone to make so that they could feel good was they jerked off into their own logo, comes along really perfectly alongside Diablo 4's new season trailer. Did you see this shit?
I didn't.
So Diablo 4 has, hey, the Season of Blood is coming along. Here you go. Here's all the updates that are coming along in the Season of Blood. And they post like, here's the old map. This is shit. Here's the new map. It's much more detailed, except they have them reversed. So they're showing the improvement is actually the old one.
Oh, no. Does it...
Okay. And then following that...
Are they showing you the wrong one? Or is it...
the before and after are literally switched.
Oh.
Okay. And then they're like, and we've increased the speed of mounts. And then they show 2 horses on 2 different screens running at exactly the same speed on exactly the same stretch of road. But then my personal favorite, they're like, and we've changed how XP works. Usually you'd get 1,000 XP, but with a 40% bonus, you'll earn 1,040 XP. And then they're like, wait, but in the Season of Blood, you'll earn 1,000 XP, and that's 1.2 times and 1.2 times again, and you would earn 1,400 XP, when these numbers should actually be 1,400 and 1,440, because the people who made the trailer literally can't even do basic multiplication.
By 40%, did they mean 4?
And then they took the trailer down.
Oh, God.
Because YouTubers and Twitch streamers were making fun of them.
Okay.
Oh, and it's like, boy, I hope you weren't excited for the new season of Diablo, because that makes you... That is dire.
Oh, fuck. Steiner math comes to Diablo.
Yeah.
That is... The before and after swap is probably the most embarrassing possible way you can introduce something.
It's the first one that happens, too. It's like within 10 seconds.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's so insane. Look how good everything looks. Wait, what do you mean it's worse? What?
Oh, man. It's great. It's great.
Okay, well, in any case, the weird just, like, discomfort of this fucking tone trailer of characters fusing to come together in this one big mega corp blob home. And really, if you're going to release a trailer for a merger, what they should have done was cut together everyone waving, perhaps singing na 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 na, hey hey hey, goodbye, and then just cut to a black and white photo of Bobby Kotick fading into darkness.
He's only going to stay out the rest of the year. Until he stays.
January 1st, I'm out that door. I'm telling you.
Until they rehire him.
You can't stop me. I'm leaving. January 1st. No, I bet you he has to. I bet you he's contractually obligated to leave or whatever. But just expect the parachute to end all parachutes.
Now what's going to happen?
A golden escalator will come up from the ground to meet him in the air and have him step down slowly until he reaches
and then they're either gonna promote somebody from within the company or hire from some other shithole, and Bobby will be like, you don't understand, I was the one holding the worst of the decisions back. And the new guy will be even more evil and even more devil-like.
Oh boy. The true villain has yet to be revealed. Perhaps,
they're going to come out and say, listen,
know.
I love it when you Photoshop me into pictures of the devil. That's my favorite.
Okay, but like the new villain has to come out announcing that and releasing the worst of the NFT mini buy microtransaction price hikes, and like on the way to the stage has to like grope like 5 asses before he gets to the microphone. Like you have to,
you know,
we have
what,
to
man?
compress it, and we don't have a lot of time to get a lot of bullshit done. You know,
man. I bet they can do it. I bet. Hey, they really hustle.
Just
they
like
can do it.
Like Terry Bogard in that one weird SNK ad, just drives by, slaps all the asses, and then gets to the stage and goes, "Yeah, what's up?" And just like, you know, gets a little, just rubs it into the gums a little bit. Woo!
I have to say, there is one thing I really appreciate about all this stuff. I'm almost 40. And I play video games and talk to people about video games. So it has been an incredible help by stuff like this allowing me to find out within 1 second whether or not the person I'm talking to has a brain. Because if the reaction to this is, yeah, good, oh, this is going to be great. I'm like, oh, wow, I should just not even bother to talk to you because you are excited that the green man got a new toy to play with because it's your team.
It's, you know, look forward to Halo Overwatch crossovers with Candy Crush. Like, what?
Oh, man.
Yeah. Again, I haven't looked, but I'm sure if you click on the trailer and scroll down, I'm sure the comments are fucking
I bet
abysmal.
they're great.
Let me even...
Spider-Man who?
What do we got? What do we got down here? I mean, the other way you do it is you disable the comments entirely. Please bring back Prototype.
Oh my god! Fucking, they don't. None of the companies involved made that game.
I love Microsoft. Remember Crash Bandicoot and Spyro. Please make franchises great again. Props to the team that edited this trailer. I rarely get goosebumps from every trailer, but this thing was patched together perfectly. There you go. Yeah, good feelings. Look, it's all the things you remember. Brand.
Hey man, never forget that fucking Call. I almost said Call of Duty. Tony Hawk 3+4 was gonna happen, and then Bobby was like, "Nah, Call of Duty mines." Hey. Even though Tony Hawk 1+2 did really well.
The part where they cut to Hi-Fi Rush for just a second of the characters just snapping for like it's for a single beat. And, like, I saw that and I went, you put that in there so that people like me will be like, oh, it's over. They remember. They get it. I do not attribute.
I love it.
Fucking yeah. Anyway, it's yes, and it had the opposite effect. It was like, oh fuck, right. That wasn't just Tango. It was part of Bethesda, so it was part of and it's pulled all in there, and yep, okay. There's chains on its feet. Got it. Well, anyway, yeah.
I still think the funniest thing about everything to do with Tango Gameworks is that Shinji Mikami had made like RE4 and left to make his own company, and then it was underneath Bethesda, and he's like, all right, I'm going to make a new type of game. And they're like, make Resident Evil 4 again. And he's like, I really don't want to. Like, he described this process in an interview and was like, I would really rather not. Can I not? And they're like, no, you're gonna.
Oh yeah. Oh no, again, like, never forget that callousness will be like, that will always be there, whether it, and if it's not happening behind closed doors, it's happening live on stage, like announcing a new Smash Brothers while Sakurai is sitting in the fucking crowd, right? Like, it's like, the fuck you think this is? Like why do you think you have that seat? we're making Smash Brothers, bro. Like, you're either in or you're out, you know. Anyway,
Reggie getting a hammer and pointing at his wrists and then pointing at Sakurai.
Yeah. No. Do you want that blood on your hands of the franchise that you created? Do you want it sacrificed and rubbed on your door like fucking like blood, like Passover? What are you doing here? Get the fuck in and you do it. Otherwise, you know what happens. The parachute will be 400 mil, so nearly $500 million.
Oh, nice.
Good catch, Bobby. Nice hustle. Well earned.
Good job.
Anyway, speaking of exits, Hideki Kamiya has exited Platinum, and he started his new YouTube channel. And the first video is a little bit of him literally walking out of the office, sitting down and kind of answering some questions. And yeah, and
that video is weird.
I mean, basically, he's just like, I obviously can't really say anything. So, you know, I left because I felt it was the right thing to do. And he wants to keep making games. No, I'm not retiring. But he basically is like, in almost an antithesis of Sakurai's channel. He's like, I'm banned from the industry for a year due to contractual reasons. So
why the fuck does Platinum Games have a 1-year anti-compete clause?
So that
like
Kamiya any other studios into
you remember
direct competition
Kojima
with
had
what they want to do?
Kojima had a 2-month anti-compete clause, and that was like hilarious because he just took time off.
And that's what he said. That's what Kamiya is doing ultimately. Anyway, yeah. No, I mean, I guess it's just like that. You know, it gives them time to like get away from whatever things that he could threaten them. Not threaten, but anything that he makes that is of their style. You know, that they want to go in a different direction with or whatever. It's you know, all that. So yeah,
you know.
It's
that, you know, they put that compete clause in because he's sitting there going like, you know, all these character action sections are really dragging down my side-scrolling shooters. Oh, this part where you have to control Bayonetta is really getting in the way of this Space Harrier section.
Okay, so the contract, the non-compete is actually you can work in the industry, but you cannot make a shmup level in any of the games you're fucking working on.
You can't do a Space Harrier section, and you're not allowed to do a 3D World Runner section for 1 year.
And then Hideki Kamiya lunged over the table and had to be physically restrained.
I can't think of, you know, we make this joke literally every single time the man's name comes up, but like I can't think of any dev ever that every single fucking game they even work on must have the thing they want to put in there every time.
But that's the things, those are the auteurs. Those are the ones we love the most. That's the Kojima being Kojima.
Okay.
Talking about his movies and his gourds. Yeah.
Miyazaki and Swamp.
Yeah, okay. Of course, right? And that's fucking David Cage and being garbage. Like, it's just,
yeah. Oh, you know? Listen, I was gonna make it good, but then I felt in my heart.
It's absolutely just, it's a stubborn fixation, and that stubborn fixation is probably the same thing that made some things good, and it's gonna make some things fucking dog shit. And you're going to have to deal with it because it comes from the same mind, you know? Yeah, I don't know, man. Yoko and his asses. It's always...
Not every game.
Yeah, not every game. I mean, there's a good number of asses, but not every single time, I don't think. All right, well, in any case, he then goes on to basically explain that, like, yeah, he can't super go into it, but, you know, it sounds like creative differences in so many words. You know, it sounds like he probably just had a fork in the road with a project and then, like, disagreed with the company direction and yada yada. I want to continue making games, da da da. And then he's like, all right, well, I'm off to the unemployment office. And then he gets in my fucking Lambo. And like, right, this is not the Sakurai YouTube channel whatsoever. Got it. I will not help you make games. I'm going to spend half the video talking about cooking.
I would fucking kill to find out what the fuck is going on over Platinum right now.
Excuse me.
Hey, if you are out there and you can hear the sound of my voice and you know what the fuck is going on at Platinum, my DMs are always open on Twitter.
I mean, probably not from the work account or anything, but yeah, it is curious. I assume, as with any studio that is also like, you know, kind of hurting for cash, you don't want to spend a lot of time developing a new project like GG and then just fucking scrap it because the lead leaves. They're probably refitting that and working it into one of the directions that they said they would, which is the owning their own brand and sustainability and yada yada, you know. So they're probably turning that into something else as we speak. And in fact, that probably could have been the reason that led to the falling out to begin with, you know.
It's possible.
Kamiya has consulted on a lot of projects over the last 10 years. He hasn't directed and written a whole lot of them. Beautiful Joe, Okami, like Bayo, and then he kind of sits back for pretty much everything else at that point. So as him returning to it with this one, I could see them being like, yeah, but like, look at the fucking bank account, and then they fucking butt heads over where to go with it. So,
hey, Kamiya-san, can you please make a game that makes money? No. Please leave.
Ask your mom. All right. A couple other things real quick, not too much, but they announced a new PS5 Slim model. It's going to launch in November. And I mean, look, I got my usage out of mine, but boy, I sure do wish they would have sold the ability to add on a disc slot to the digital only version.
I agree.
First model, because that's a really good design change that you can now do. It's apparently 30% lighter, a little bit smaller. It's nowhere near compared to PS2 Slim to the original.
Yeah, it's
slightly smaller.
I feel like this is like a non-announcement, because like back when we were young and they were like, the Slim console's coming out, it went from like the size of like your computer to like the size of a
laptop. Yeah, like the PS2 tiny fucking micro mini pocket is still kind of an insanely conveniently sized console.
Yeah.
Like the first time I saw that, I was freaking out. Like, what?
Now it's like it's gonna take up the same amount of fucking space in your entertainment console that it doesn't have any changes to the guts.
But this giant fucker over here is really big, and I'll take any size reduction you can get. Right. Furthermore, I have the digital version, so it's nice that I got like some collector's boxes for PS5 games, but like, again, like the ability to add on a slot optionally if you want to later on for any reason is a nice afterthought that we have now. It would have been great before,
I tell you what, though, I've been hearing rumors of a new PlayStation 5 SKU for a while, for like over a year, and they kept saying like PS5 Pro. I'm like, I don't want a fucking PS5 Pro to come out, because then I gotta fight the fucking world to get one. And now it's like, no, it was just a Slim. It was just a Slim. Okay, safe.
And it begins a new arms race on video cards as well. You know, every time there's like a performance jump in something like this, it becomes a new fucking so.
Well, you know what, Wooly? I have good news for you if you don't want to be part of the video card arms race and you want better performance in your games. Have you heard about the AMD Anti-Lag Plus feature?
AMD Radeon Anti-Lag and Anti-Lag Plus.
Yeah. So it's designed to reduce input lag in GPU limited cases and get faster click-to-response times.
Okay,
and apparently,
I want to play some Counter-Strike 2, though.
You do want to play some Counter-Strike 2.
I love me some Counter-Strike.
Well, I have good news for you. It works in Counter-Strike 2. It does work in Counter-Strike 2, and you will get a couple more frames. Right up until the game automatically VAC bans you. Because straight from at Counter-Strike, AMD's latest driver has made their anti-lag plus feature available, which is implemented by detouring engine DLL functions. If you're an AMD customer and play CS2, do not enable it, as any tampering with CS code will result in a VAC ban.
VAC ban, you say?
Yeah, that's right.
Care to define that?
That would be all of Valve's VAC games. Well, it's not so bad. I mean, it's just Counter-Strike, and, you know, it's not the end of the world. It's not as if it also has that effect in Call of Duty and Apex Legends. And looks like some other games too.
Modern Warfare 2.
Seems
Apex
like it triggers
Legends,
easy anti-cheat also.
Warzone. Mm-hmm.
Because it fucks with the engine directly, like a cheat program.
I appreciate that the story was broken by video cards with a Z.
Yeah. So the purpose of this was so that, because AMD is always losing the video card battle between them and NVIDIA. Mm-hmm. And they're like, listen, pro gamers, big competitive gamers, we're going to give you an edge that NVIDIA can't give you. And then they made certain that if you were thinking about getting an AMD card, and you were like, maybe I should get an AMD card, to remind you to never, ever get an AMD card. Ever. I got an AMD card once. It was a piece of shit. It was fucking terrible. The driver support was awful. And that was like 15 years ago, and they never got any better.
Yeah, I also feel like there's always a bunch of, well, again, as someone who I don't go too hard into optimizing my video card performance and shit, but I feel like every time I go to look at the latest updates, there's like a million little side installs and software things that like have nothing to do with anything that are also put out by NVIDIA or also put out, you know what I mean? Like there's always these support things that are just kind of like why was NVIDIA the ones behind the like noise auto ducking filter, for example, right?
Because they're so fucking far ahead of AMD that they have them all the money in the world to just fucksy around with new features.
I see. Well, in any case, yeah, that is a humongous fuck up. That is crazy, and that is also like to roll that out and have the issue be across the 3 biggest fucking FPSs is that's like, wild.
It's funny because like I just made the thing of like I haven't used AMD in 15 years and they haven't gotten any better, because I'm referring to me actually having an AMD card for Witcher 2 and it crashing nonstop in the final area of the game. I thought my computer was broken, but no, it was actually just AMD's terrible driver support. To which people are saying it did get better. But you know what? 15 years ago, I was not worried about my AMD 9600 XT fucking getting me banned from Counter-Strike, which now apparently you do have to worry about. So if anything, they got worse.
They managed to survive somehow, survive the wars, right? Because I remember when I was going out to buy the latest ATI Rage card, you know, and there between that and shopping for Voodoo and a bunch of the shit, like there was a number of other competitors. It felt like it didn't just kind of shore up into to AMD versus NVIDIA.
The last good ATI card was the 9800 Pro in like 97.
Okay, now most importantly, who was the cool made-up stupid character on the cover?
I don't know.
What dumb fake 3D render, you know, like character did they use? Because that's how you really sell me, is you put a dumb
let me look up the 9800 Pro.
A dumb reboot character looking fucker on that box. Ooh, maybe this one. Yeah, some robotic angel or some fucking weird like dragon
might have been
thing.
depending on your box, it could have been Crisis Man. It was a gargoyle. It was a scary gargoyle.
Yeah, I see the gargoyle right next to the G-Force with the native angel lady. she's got a wings, angelic wings, and a native headdress. Right on. And then there's Ulala with a gun.
That's good stuff right there.
Fucking discount Sophitia. Orc Man. There's a Joker. Oh my god. Yeah, video cards, man. I love it. I fucking love it. Ah, shit. These are some fighting game characters right here.
Dude, if I got shit banned from like Counter-Strike and I was big into Counter-Strike, I'd be like unreasonably pissed off.
I mean, the question is like, so obviously they're undoing this if you file your report and immediately like rectifying the problem.
Maybe. I don't know. Are they? Like you would hope, but like,
yeah.
I mean, under the ban report, I assume it says DLL injection, which looks pretty bad. Especially since like the game's EULA probably says, yeah, don't do that.
Nah, thanks for the money, lol. Bye. Anyways, speaking of thanks for the money, we got a look at the first Omni-Man trailer in MK1. And much to everyone's disappointment, at no point does he stick his knee up, lean forward towards a character, and go, "Think, Sub-Zero, think."
So you don't know that actually. He does do the part where he's one of the like his X-ray is he's punching you into like the dirt
into the pulp.
And I believe it is that scene.
Oh, it does cut away. It does cut away. They just didn't. If so it's in there, they didn't show it.
You might do it.
And yes, he does drop into a subway, and yes, he does also just grab a skull and just. And there's something about that one in particular where you're like, like the elaborate fatality where you're juggling someone's like meat torso around is all fun and fine and dandy, but there's something just simple and visceral about the regular crush with a lot of detail to it, and the pooling up of the blood and then the eyeball, and it's like, fuck me. Fatality doesn't have to be, I've shish kebabbed your legs, arms, and head into a line and spun it around in a circle and then burnt it all. You know what I mean? Like, it can just be fucking murder. That thing is really gruesome.
Every time I think about fatalities now, all I can think of is a single comment I saw on a Mortal Kombat trailer, which was, I wish NetherRealm had their artists look at people throwing punches rather than watching people get decapitated.
Where's the lie? Also, here's your fucking side switch button, because I swear to God there's no confirmation of it, but I bet you Ed Boon just hates when he sees a character's back. And
what is up with that?
And he won't let it go. I can feel it in my bones. Just
force the characters to face the camera then.
No one else wants it. No one else cares. But there's like, I feel like he's like, every time we make a new game, we're dedicating an entire button towards turning around. Also, if you accidentally press it, you're stuck in that animation, and good luck. You're getting hit for it, because you need it for some moves. Yeah, I don't know. But in any case, so he does a couple other things. He does he has like a counter stance, and then he kind of rushes past the scorpion spear. And if he's doing all of these like flash around the world style, punch you in the face, rush down Superman things, it feels as if perhaps then you split Superman from Injustice into two styles of character. Omni-Man is the punchy rushdown type, and then Homelander will be the I-beams and all that.
Which
bullshit.
One's got dumpster combos?
I imagine hopefully, I'm hoping
Homelander would have the dumpster combos. Yeah,
I'm hoping Homelander has a breast milk meter that he can fill up, and then when you spend it all, he has to go off screen and recharge it. That'd be cool, Anyways, yeah. I'm I forgot to mention earlier. Yeah, I'm rehashing some bits that I used yesterday. I was on a podcast called Kombat.
Show with rehashed bits.
Yeah,
Some refried jokes.
Some refried jokes that I used on the Combat Kings podcast, talking about Mortal Kombat stuff. So look forward to that sometime this week as well, I suppose. Anyway, though, I imagine, hopefully, to the costumes you get will be like at home Omni-Man asshole button up suit.
One of the costumes could just be Mark.
Could be. You see, like, I was wondering if, like, you're gonna, for the combat pack also get like Invincible as a cameo or whatever, right? Or if you by buying Homelander, do you get the Deep as a cameo that just fucking rolls in and does some gross shit, but there's no guest cameos confirmed just yet. So in any case,
cameo is a really good name for that feature
with a capital K. Yeah, other thing was the confirmation that the live action Yu Yu Hakusho series is coming to Netflix starting this December. And I scrolled and browsed and searched, and I could not find any confirmation that Togashi is actually involved with the production. So there might not be a gun to the head of the creators.
But what about the Hunter x Hunter adaptation?
Yeah. I don't know. Hey, it gives me more time. I'll figure it out. Yeah, I that's all I want to see is, okay, new Netflix live adaptation is being worked on. Is the creator standing in the room armed?
Now I don't know what to believe, because the One Piece was so excellent. But also Oda, is it Oda? I want to say it's Oda. Oda was there the whole time. In the room the whole time.
That's it. Shinichiro Watanabe could not get further away from the Netflix offices.
That's
right?
true.
Oda had a gun.
True.
I just, this is what alongside the press conference, you need a photo of your favorite mangaka just loading the bullets in, lining up the sights. And you're like, oh, okay, no, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Yeah, I believe. In any case, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh, hey, remember when I mentioned Bandcamp last week and how Epic bought it to leverage it in their Apple lawsuit? Well, they're selling it, and they fired half of everyone there.
Yes. In fact, I think the correction on that story was, in fact, that it was about, the news was about them selling it, not buying it.
No, the old news was them buying it back in 2022.
Yes, and then when it brought up last week, it was like, wait, no.
They're selling it.
They're selling it. That's what it was.
Yeah, because it didn't help them, and on the way out, they're firing one out of every two people.
Yeah, that was hence the spite buy and
the 50% being fired that's the new part for this
50%
week.
being fired. Yes, okay.
That's
correct.
the new part.
Right. Okie doke. Well,
thanks, Tim. What a great businessman.
Hey, just go watch that Activision Blizzard King Xbox trailer, man. It's all video games. They remembered Spyro. They remembered. It's good feelings.
Man, them using that for like good feelings when like everyone in management actively fought against that for the whole time they were there is so nasty.
It's even got the fucking Crash Bandicoot wow, it's got a little screenshot of that moment as well. So they're just they're trying to bring about good feelings, you know? Anyways, okay. So we are in a Titanfall 3 straitjacket room, and as I've said before, I will not care to acknowledge anything until something official is acknowledged. So, has anything official been acknowledged? Is there anything
not to
officially?
my knowledge?
Okay, well then we keep it moving. Because you can Pepe Sylvia all you want. I will not give a fuck.
Sometimes I do like to Pepe Sylvia a little bit.
I will not give a fuck about anything any of you have to say. I want to hear it from Respawn themselves.
Yeah, and there's all like, even let's say they put out a Titanfall 3 trailer right now, and it's like this spring, Titanfall 3, we're gonna do it. Like, you still gotta have that little part in your chest that's like they could cancel it at any time. It's
yeah. Don't come at me with your fucking all caps messages about any build. I don't care. I don't care.
Wooly.
Yeah.
Spawn is in Call of Duty.
Okay.
Holy shit.
I care less than ever now that I can jump on Titanfall 2 and continue playing it.
Yeah.
And enjoying myself every single fucking night, which I have been. Like,
yeah.
What 100%. Do you want me to, like, what do you want me to say? All right.
When Titanfall 2 was so busted that you weren't allowed to play it, yeah, no, it hurt. It hurt bad. But now, I'm so sad about Titanfall. I'll go play some Titanfall.
I dropped Legion on a motherfucker last night. The fuck you want, man? I'm good. Let's take some letters.
Hey, man, if you want to send in a letter, please keep it short so that we can answer it properly, and send it to castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. That's castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com.
Right. Here's one coming in from HD Mex. How you doing?
Hey, man, what's up?
Ahoy Trudeau's before and after pick.
Oh, that's one of the best ones. That's one of the best ones.
Hunter, you
that's
motherfucker.
Great.
Hunter. Excellent.
Oh.
Excellent job.
Oh, you get a little clap for that. That's good. Oh, I like that.
I know Wooly's soft spot for dumb race humor is effective as a colostomy bag. After seeing Django Unchained and the clan bag scene, it gets me thinking, in any media, what is the best, this is such an out-of-pocket dumb hatred that it's funny. Like, you look so stupid hating that much level of funny.
Oh, I got one, but it's a little obscure.
Mm-hmm.
In Binary Domain, a game made by the Like a Dragon devs, it's like Blade Runner, in which, you know, there's robot people that are secret. You know, it's a secret robot. And then it comes out that there are robots that had human children, like biological human children, and they are walking around, and your team is like, well, we have to kill them. They're robots. And you're like, they're literally just normal people. And like the whole game's finale hinges on this. And it makes no sense. It makes no sense at all.
What the fuck is happening in this game?
A lot. There's a lot happening in Binary Domain. But hey, Wooly, hey. Okay. You know, but how you played a Like a Dragon game?
Says it's good. You guys are all saying how much you love it. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. It's great. Okay, you know, you played Like a Dragon, right? Yeah. Whoa, it's zany. Now imagine if that zany was put in a Gears of War shell. And it's exactly the same.
God. Okay. I guess there's a okay. What am I missing here? Is this meant to be taken seriously? Is it intended?
Oh, deadly. It's like
okay.
It's some people in the chat who've played Binary Domain or watched
yeah, deadly serious. Okay, step 2. Are you taking it seriously?
Am I taking it seriously?
Personally?
No, because I'm like, this is nonsense.
Okay, all right, great. We're all caught up. Wonderful.
And here's the genius part. Here's the genius, okay? The main character the one you play as, also thinks it's nonsense.
Okay.
But no one else in the game agrees.
Because now, the degree to which that actually is incorporated is the most interesting thing I've heard about it. Because all anyone ever says is, it's amazing, you have to play it. But I don't.
So
that's incongruous with what my eyeballs are feeding me.
Wooly, it is just as twist and turny and exciting as your fucking Yakuza game. It's one of those things where you're like, they literally can't help themselves. It came out after, God, when the fuck I want to say 2009. When did Binary Domain come out? Binary Domain came out in fucking 2012. Okay, which Yakuza game came out in 2011? 4? 3? It was like not even 5 years away from Secret Koreans. Okay. Because that's what a robot is. Wooly, that's what a robot is. It's a secret Korean.
Okay, hold on. Last question.
Who's cheating at baseball?
Is it the game or is it your LP?
No, okay. Hand on my heart, hand to God. People in the chat can back me up.
You make good content out of this? Okay.
It is the game that is it is absolutely the game.
Okay.
It is so nuts. Binary Domain is so nuts.
Because at the end of the day, like, all stupid, like, big bow eye-popping meme bullshit aside,
dude,
also, like, that shit, I was just like, that looks, I'm like, the first time I saw that, we all remember from a million years ago, I was like, what the fuck is that? But that aside, like, I'm just like, what the fuck am I looking at? Like, this doesn't, like, there's nothing I saw that was like, yo, get in here now, you gotta fucking, it's incredible, right?
It is, Binary Domain is the sleeperest hit. Like, it is the in a coma hit.
Right, because
like
everyone
that game has like a social link system with your buddies using the in-game voice commands.
Because everyone who yells "it rules" never yells the quiet part in brackets, which is "it's the fucking dumbest, it's the worst, it's the best." Right? They you never get that. You never see the /S. You just see the all caps. No,
there is no /S. People aren't saying that ironically. It rules.
Okay.
It fucking rules.
But Yakuza knows what it's doing and does it, right?
Yeah.
Yakuza knows exactly what it's doing. When you shore PP, it's because someone spent time doing the shore PP.
Yeah, Binary Domain doesn't have any side quests, so it's all mainline. And hey, man, Big Bo's going to check out that girl's ass, and you got to use your voice commands to tell him if you think it's nice or not. And depending on what you answer, friendship with Big Bo go up or down, and that will affect the game's ending.
It just I can't. Okay, all right. Like, is this in a museum and everyone is in a circle pointing at it?
It should be in a museum.
Or are we in a lecture hall and the professor is breaking it open and explaining the literary themes, Okay, all right.
Let me just get a fucking screenshot from this fucking game, and it looks like a fucking Yakuza side quest.
Because I can and have given impassioned speeches to people about why they should play Detroit Become Human.
Here, I'm sending you this screenshot. I'm going to put it in the chat for people who want to see what I'm talking.
Okay, yeah. Sure. Sure, man.
Like,
robot skeleton person head.
Oh, it's so incredible.
Lady, dude.
It's
whatever.
so incredible, dude. Like, oh my god.
Like I think like I have given impassioned speeches about why someone actually should play a Detroit. Because
no, but Wooly, I don't recommend Binary Domain the way I recommend Detroit Become Human or Heavy Rain. I recommend Binary Domain if you like Yakuza 3, 4, or 5.
Okay.
And also like Gears of War shooting that's really excellent. Okay, because Wooly, here's the stage. You did a Gears of War level against a really actually mechanically impressive gigantic spider robot, and then you go into the underground. You know the gambling area in Yakuza games where all the crime happens? But then you do the Yakuza cutscene of, oh wow, a lot of talking, oh it's serious. And then you turn around and a man pulls his whole face off because he's a robot. It's the only difference. It's the same. It's the same.
Was the path to that moment one of enjoyable fun and gameplay?
Oh, dude, the game part, it rules. It's the best cover shooter I can think of.
Okay,
I like it better than Vanquish.
Okay, the gameplay itself is very fun.
Yes.
Okay, this also needs to be stated.
The part where you actually shoot is actually incredible because all the robots like fly apart into tiny little bits. It's really technically impressive and it feels good.
Okay. That's an important thing to mention.
By the way, I said something controversial right now, which is I like it better than Vanquish. I need to explain that. Everything in Vanquish feels great, except for the part where it actively punishes you for using any of the weapons you like because it has the worst upgrade system of any game I have ever played. Every time I go back to Vanquish, I go, oh, right, the only way to level up my gun is to never use it and pick up the gun again with full ammunition.
Yeah.
Drives me crazy.
Yep. That's the worst part. And it also means that like when you want to jump into, if you want to like, it's if it didn't have that, if you could just grab certain loadouts before the mission, go out and then like deal with it, leveling up your gun externally from the levels entirely. You could just focus on doing stylish, fun, cool shit and tightening up your runs. But yes, a million percent.
Like I think that game would actually be way better if the weapons had no upgrade at all. If it was like a more standard, pure action game.
Sure. Yeah. That's fine too. So some of the examples listed in said email, the species selected rockets in Mass Effect, I think that's probably the best answer really. The rocket launcher that automatically detects the enemies. You just
God, I forgot about that.
You just fire it and then it'll know where the bad guys are and target them for you.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, how Gimli treats elves in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, he's super racist.
But then they have a moment. Together, and then he's like, they're not all so bad. And Clint Eastwood, being Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino.
Gran Torino Clint Eastwood is a great portrayal of racism.
He's a humongous racist asshole the entire time, but then he's like, all right, you can have my car. Yeah. That'll fix it.
So, Wooly, you want to hear something funny? There was a really interesting detail that I found out about Gran Torino, is that Clint Eastwood didn't know they were making a movie.
Incredible. That's some Hollywood trivia for you right there. Yeah, good stuff.
That's a great email. Thank you very much, HD Max.
Good job, Hunter. All right. Here's one. No name tagged. Sup, guys? Never mind. Crownless Chief here, longtime fan. Not a long one. What are your favorite uses of motion controls / gyro? Anytime you need to move the controller in a game. I like Inkay in Pokemon, where it evolves if you level it up and then you turn the 3DS or Switch upside down.
I still have to say my favorite use of motion controls ever to date is Wii Sports.
Wii Sports is incredible. It's an incredible introduction to the concept. When I think about the like Wii U screen, I think Splatoon was like the first and only time that I really actually enjoyed what it was doing. I liked Luigi's Mansion mini game in the Nintendo Land thing. That was a fun asymmetrical bit too. But like all of that Wiimote waggle shit, like
Waggle was like Wii Sports was incredible, and then immediately you went to Waggle, and you're like, oh, this concept is dead now because you've just replaced a button with a shitty motion.
So I feel like for every single Nintendo innovated accessory or whatever controller or device, probably the best implementation is WarioWare every time.
Yeah. Well, that's
WarioWare figures out how to do the coolest shit with it, but no other game is committing to that at length, you know? Yeah, I still haven't played it, but I remember hearing a lot of good about Red Steel 2.
I remember waking up in the morning and going downstairs and finding my dad having spent all night rolling fucking perfect games in Wii Sports Bowling. And I'm like, okay, yeah, there's something here, definitely.
Yeah. No, I Sin and Punishment is a pretty good one too, because that is just a straight up improvement over the style of game that the first one was, but based on the ability to aim, certainly. If you are going to look for the best example of what this can do, though, yeah, always I'd say go check out the WarioWare.
You know, someone mentioned in the chat earlier, I would like to give a thumbs up to jerking off your Wii remote to charge your sword in No More Heroes.
Sure, but besides that, was actually slashing
no, it sucked ass.
It was terrible. Like don't drop No More Heroes in there. It's just the jerk off motion that was funny. That's it.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's why I mentioned just the jerking off part.
Yeah, and the same goes for a lot of sword combat shit that had to use that.
Sword combat doesn't work when there's nothing to clash against.
Was there ever there was like Skyward Sword and that Star Wars game, and then like Red Steel. Yeah. And also Wii Motion Plus came like later than, and like that should have been that from the jump in the controller. The controller should have had it has a memory on it. It should have been a memory card at the same time.
I remember I remember getting Skyward Sword with I went out and got the Wii Motion Plus, the little edition. And it's like, what? Hey man, this is gonna make the Wii remote like super accurate. It's gonna be so accurate, and sword play is gonna be cool. And then I load into it, and I'm like, I'm having to recenter the cursor on the screen like every 3 or 4 minutes. Oh, this is the future, huh?
The fucking recentering, god damn it!
Like I could go on and on and on about Skyward Sword, but really the actual thing was like, the future is resetting your controls every couple of minutes because the fucking drift on it is out of control because of the way it's, it's tabulating where the thing is.
There you go.
Technological dead end for sure.
I got tired of Metroid Prime shooting that way. I did not want that. In fact, it's why I like 3 less than like for me 1 was my best experience with Metroid.
Yeah, it goes Prime. 1, 2, 3.
Yep, I love Metroid Prime 1. I love it a lot. I hate the Wiimote use of that game. Playing it on GameCube controller was more than fine.
Well, see, the thing is with Metroid is that, like, man, the shooting in Metroid is going to be so good. I'm like, I don't care about the shooting in Metroid. And I care about running around cool rooms.
And 2, as I said, was fine until it wasn't, because it shits the bed at the end and
right at the end
with the fucking Triforce pieces on you. So, for anyone who loves 2 more than 1, I guess you.
So I love 2 more than 1. However, and this is really important,
that ending,
when they said go get the rest of the whatever the fucks it was,
fucking sucked, man.
Listen, this is important. When I got to the part where it's like go get everything hidden in the environment, I already had like all of them but 2 or 3. So like that part of the game that fucks up everybody didn't happen.
I'm envious.
So my
of that.
opinion is totally different.
Yeah, I'm envious of that. The light suit fucks, but that part, like it made me stop and come back and fuck it, like in frustration. You know, it was a bit of a water temple moment back then.
Boy, sure am excited for that Metroid Prime 4 any day now.
You know, and I just, you can't let that go. 1, I had a smooth fucking ride from top to bottom, and then 3, the interface, I hated playing it with the controller. That was the only way to play it, you know.
Also, you know, to the people in our audience that were not alive when the GameCube came out, you have to remember, when you loaded up the Metroid Prime 1 and there was a bomb or a flash and you saw Samus's face in the reflection, you were like, "Oh, reflection!"
It was a huge
on my
deal.
TV. Woo!
Yeah, Samus's and the water condensation when you came out of the pool and you'd see the fog in the top of the helmet. It was the biggest deal in the world. Furthermore, those main menus were god tier, unstoppable.
Oh, they sure were, yeah.
Compared to other main menus at the time. So just, you know, anyway. All right. Yeah, that's that. And here, a quick one. What's up? Hey, Wooly, asking the real questions. When's the last time you got a retwist in a lineup? I know a lot of people from the West Indies keep their locks natural, but I think it looks dope. Would you ever consider? I mean, if you're counting, I had an edge up last month and a lineup, yeah, maybe like 3 or so weeks ago. So I do that, actually.
You know, it's strange. I'm actually on brand for this one. I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. The insane Pat will be leaving tomorrow afternoon.
Mm-hmm. There you go. I mean, are you aiming for like any particular dad vibe or just maintenance?
I just buzzed my head, dude. What I'm gonna style a massive comb over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm excited for? You know what I'm really excited for? In like 2 or 3 years, I'm gonna shave my fucking beard, and that kid's gonna freak out.
Yeah. The face shape changes. You are now a stranger. All the danger noises are going off. Crying, dude, nonstop.
I still remember when my dad would shave his mustache and like everyone in the family would freak out. Like my mom would lose it. She's like, "What are you doing?"
Violence to the child. Yeah. Yeah, and something cool too is Punch Mom over the years has learned how to do some dread retwisting, and has learned and is been basically like learning how to deal with black hair, you know. So that is a handy skill to have at home. Anyway, all right, leave it there.
All right, you guys all have a good week. Stay safe out there.
Bye-bye.